swing it away and socks this to deep left field. That is gone! Bryson Harper.
Where the pulse with the ball. It's a chest high step. He looks down the middle of the field. He's going to throw the ball run. Has the ball in the field. Intercepted. Taking it down the far sideline. He steps out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage. And that's how you cap the game up. Jabril White called game on his third interception of the evening.
Sierra Smith quickly worked around, feeding the hot hand. Jasmine got it! 3 threes for number 23.
He finds Edwards. Edwards needs to get the shot up. Pulls up a deep three. Able to knock it down.
The counter attack. Here comes Carla Ramos forward, looking for Noelle Lemus. She's gotten by the last defender. Valentine comes down. Noelle drills the keeper. Lemus. And that is a DVC victory. The Vikings are champions of California.
And we are about 4 minutes away from tip-off here at the DVC Palladium. Another doubleheader coming your way on DVC Vikings Live. My name's Max Agress, and I'm joined alongside Ryan Shell as always. And we got another fun matchup here tonight. First half of our doubleheader will be the women's basketball team. So let's start with DVC. They come in 11-4 on the year, the number 14th ranked in NorCal, receiving votes for the state poll, I should say. The Vikings have had a little rough streak. This is the first time this season where they've had a losing streak. They lost to Folsom Lake College here at home, 84-54. That was a tough one. And they lost a really close one against Modesto last week. It was 11-19 at the end of the first quarter. The shots just weren't really dropping for the Vikings early on. DVC didn't score their first bucket until the 5:36 mark of the first quarter. So, I mean, that just tells you how the shooting was going early on. They were able to cut the lead down to 2 points at the 1 minute mark of the first, and then it was just back-to-back three-point shots. I mean, the three-point shots were dropping for Modesto that night. They ended up the night 8 for 20 compared to the 2 for 17 of the Vikings. DVC, I mean, they just kept pressuring. They kept strong on their defensive attack, and they're able to cut it down to 1 point for multiple different times of the evening. They got it down to 1 point for the last 3 or 4 minutes of the game, but just weren't able to quite get over the hump. And a lot of that was due to the fact that they weren't really knocking down free throws. The first shot attempt of the night that went in was by Skylar Henrich. She went in, got fouled, got the and one, and just wasn't able to get it to go from the free throw line. And from that point, it was just a matter of that was setting the tone. Vikings finished the night 9 for 17 from the free throw line. So they had opportunities. They just weren't quite able to really put it down. Coach Garsky was talking about he's not really too worried about the situation. They're a little bit tired in that stance, and I mean, this is just, it's one of those moments that you got to learn from. Yes, it stinks, but you have 14 more opportunities this year to prove yourself. You got to keep it moving and keep pushing on strong. The Vikings are still one of the top teams in the state. I mean, they've showed it playing some of the best teams that they can really go out there and compete. On the other end, it's a team that's really been struggling. 0-4 in Big 8 play in the American River College Beavers. The Beavers coming to this one 4-11 on the year. Surprisingly, though, they do pretty well on the road. So 3-5 on the road. They're riding in on a 5-game losing streak after falling to Sacramento City College last time. And in that game, I mean, it was close going all the way through. The final score was 82-75. I mean, ARC took the lead in the first. Sacramento City College came back, and then they took a 2-point lead at the halftime break, 38-36. And the second half was really close, but Mancuso fouled out, and the whopping differential between the free throws was, I mean, one of the big differences. 43-21. I mean, 22 free throw differential. That's massive.
Yeah, you don't really see that much. It's going to be important to kind of hone that in and, you know, maybe look to drive in, draw some fouls, and in DVC's press, they may be able to get the defense off balance and score some easy buckets.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of the games that the Vikings have to have. I mean, this is a team that's really struggled this year, 4-11, and, I mean, this is the game to get it right. The Big 8 is truly a gauntlet. You have good teams left and right. I mean, looking at the standings right now, you have essentially every team except for Sierra and American River College are above 500. I mean, that says everything. You have the number 3 team in the state in San Joaquin Delta. You have a team that beat the number 3 team in the state by 20 in Folsom Lake College. You got Cosumnes River, who's 15-1 coming into their game later today. I mean, this conference is no joke. Every single time you go out there, you have to prove your worth, and the Vikings have another opportunity to do so tonight. So about 20 seconds away from starters. We got a little sneak peek, so let's go ahead and go with the starters here. We'll start with the Vikings. Vikings are the number 14 team, like I said before, coming in 11-4 on the year, the first losing streak from Folsom Lake College of Modesto. And at the one guard, a 5'4 sophomore from Las Lomas High School, it'll be number 1, Izzy De La Cruz. De La Cruz has been on fire this year, averaging 12 points per game. But I mean, scoring just really hasn't even had to be her thing this year. It's been all about the assists, coming off of a 10-assist game last time around against Modesto College. I mean, she's dishing all the dimes and such. 7.4 assists per game. Izzy's been absolutely on fire. At the shooting guard position, it'll be the 5'7 sophomore from Alhambra High School, Lexi LaPerry. LaPerry only averaging, I mean, you're averaging double digits, and I'm saying only. That shows how good of a player Lexi LaPerry can be. And LaPerry's leading the team in steals as well, with 33 total steals on the year, 11 in Big 8 play already. At shooting guard / forward, it'll be Tegan Gaines, one of the tallest players for the Vikings, standing 5'10", the freshman out of Northgate. She's giving the Vikings 12.6 points per game, and I'm just waiting on that game where she dominates. Tegan is so good, working at her own pace, almost like that Jokic type of situation. So when Tegan is on, she can make you pay, and I expect this to be one of the teams that are not necessarily the biggest. Tegan's going to have an advantage going inside and really getting her pay dirt. At another forward, it'll be Tamana Sharifi. And Sharifi, man, she's done everything you could ever ask. She doesn't have a chip on her shoulder. She has a boulder. She fights down inside the post. She gets double-doubles, over a bunch of different times. One of the top three-point shooters in the state, shooting just a shy touch under 50%. I mean, Tamana's given you everything you want, and the sophomore at Independence High has been such a big pickup for the Vikings this year. And, I mean, last but definitely not least, number 32, Sky Parker, the 5'7 sophomore from Alhambra High School. I mean, she's been a monster as well. She had a double-double in that matchup against ARC last time, and then her last showing, 18 points, 8 rebounds, so 2 rebounds short of the double-double, but she's been a force to be reckoned with inside. She could definitely get positioning, and as the shooting has been going down for her, it's been massive, and I mean, it's been huge for the Vikings as well. On the other side, it'll be number 2, Tamai Mancuso, the sophomore from Benicia, and when I tell you she is the team, she is the team. I mean, Ryan, you were talking about it before this matchup, looking at the stats, averaging 30.6 points per game. Ryan, you came in and you were just at disbelief at that number.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you average 30 points, you have the ball so much to average 30 points, that means the team really relies on you. So it's going to be important for DVC to focus on that, maybe throw some double teams eventually, switch up the defense according to her game.
Yeah, and Mancuso had a 26 performance last time around, but in a game where she fouled out, so that was one of the big factors of why Sacramento City College was able to come back and really get that victory. I mean, she is the number 1 scorer in the state, the number 1 in terms of field goals taken, and I mean, she gets to the free throw line a lot as well. 3rd in free throws, 77 for 97. I mean, she's gotten to the free throw line and shot nearly 100 free throw attempts. So when she's on that ball, she'll make you pay as well. A heck of a ball handler. And I expect it to be the Mancuso show, and I expect Izzy De La Cruz to be matched up tightly against her, trying to stop her. At another guard, it'll be number 12, Ashley Laguna Gonzalez, the freshman from Whitney, only averaging 1.5 points per game. But, I mean, she's giving you 5 rebounds a game. She's one of those girls that'll go out there and really just fight hard and really be a nice team player. At another guard, number 21, Haley Carpel, the sophomore out of Ponderosa. She's one of those players where the numbers aren't necessarily saying that she's a big scorer, but 7.9 points per game, 11 points per game in Big 8 play. She gave you 17 last time around against Sacramento City College. She can definitely be a secondary scorer that they might need. And at another forward, it'll be number 22, Adriana Rubio Perez, the sophomore from Leroy Green Academy. Just another well-rounded player, 5'5", a great energy player as we saw her last year. And last but not least, Sydney Grant, number 11, giving you 10.6 rebounds per game, so she'll be a big factor inside. And she's just about ready to get the jump in the middle of the floor against Tegan Gaines as we are ready to tip this one off here on Steve Coach Emilio Court on DVC Vikings Live. Vikings will be working right to left. We're opposite here of your broadcast feed because the camera's on the other side. And so for us in this perspective, Vikings will be working right to left, and ARC will be working left to right. ARC's in their road blues with the blue tops, blue bottoms with the red numerals, and DVC in their tops grays and bottoms grays. And the tip is won by the Vikings. They'll have the green trim running down the side with the green numerals as well. And Izzy De La Cruz gets it over to Sky Parker in the top of the key to get us started out. A left wing 3-point shot attempt. Nothing but net. 3-point shot drained by Tegan Gaines. And that's a great way for the Vikings to get started. Full court press being put on. Mancuso dribbling with the left hand, and it'll be, I can't seem to quite get the number. It's Carpel having the ball, passing it over to the left wing, driving inside, and a missed shot by Laguna Gonzalez, rebounded by the Vikings. Vikings quickly down the floor from low block left. Sky Parker gets the shot to drop.
Vikings did a great job filling the lanes right there and was able to get the fast break layup.
Yeah, very nice opportunity there, and a nice finish as well as the Vikings get the steal in the press. Steal taken by Sky Parker. Parker, turnaround jumper from the free throw line, off the side of the mark, and Carpel able to pick up the rebound. Vikings unable to bring out that press as it was off of a missed shot. Instead, they'll drop into a woman-to-woman defense. Laguna Gonzalez handling from the left wing. Right-handed dribble inside, trying to get in past Sharifi. Turnaround inside, and a missed shot by Sidney Grant. Vikings will clear the board. Izzy De La Cruz down the right wing. Back over to Gaines. They leave her open, and Gaines off the mark this time around. Couldn't believe herself as she turned around and gave us a little bit of a stink eye.
Those shots are going to be there tonight. It looks like that American River College is in a zone, and they're not really closing out to the wing three-pointers, so expect a lot of those shots tonight.
Yeah, and the Vikings are a team that shoot pretty well beyond the arc. I mean, they're averaging 30.6 percentage, and that's 11th in the 3C 2A at this current point as the Vikings get a steal there. Tegan Gaines gets the steal, and Tegan's going to be all alone at the basket as Gaines goes up, has 5 points for herself. 7 points now for the Vikings as they go on a 7-0 run. So send us to our first time out. So we'll get back and talk about the three-point shooting of the Vikings on the other side of the break here on DVC Vikings Live. Back here at the first buzzer, so we'll still have a few seconds before we come back from the timeout. But yeah, like I was talking about, the Vikings aren't necessarily a team that shoot too many three-point shots, but they show that they are decently capable. I mean, when you're number 11 in the state, that says everything. So after the inbounds pass, able to cross the timeline, left a woman all alone underneath the basket, and the first points will go by the way of Adriana Rubio Perez as she breaks the goose egg for ARC about 2 minutes into the game. Lexi LaPerry cutting down the baseline, looking to turn the ball around. She's doubled for a moment, able to swing it over to the left wing. Sharifi bounce passes over to Sky Parker. Sky Parker inside, strong move to the hoop. Sky Parker, 4 points for her. 9-2 our score as the Vikings bring out the pressure once more. I expect to see a lot of heavy pressure here for the Vikings, and able to break it is Carpel once more. Carpel, right-handed hook shot underneath, and over two different ARC players, another strong board brought in by Sky Parker. Swinging ahead to the baseline, and Lexi LaPerry too strong, board by Parker, and Parker tries to contort herself. Another offensive rebound by Sharifi, and Tegan will dot the I on the play.
The Vikings really active on the offensive glass so far in the early going.
And that's what you love to see, a smaller team in American River College, as opposed to obviously Modesto with 2 6-footers last time around. And the Vikings force another turnover now, throwing off the leg, but it wasn't a kick ball, and the Vikings were able to retrieve it. Yeah, I expect to see the Vikings really fighting hard and working inside the post. Sharifi off the mark with her three-point shot, and the ball will be last touched by Sky Parker. Yeah, the last time around, the Vikings had 42 rebounds to the 42 of Modesto, and I mean, that was huge because Modesto's got 2 6-foot players. I mean, that says a lot. First substitution for the Vikings, and surprisingly enough, Izzy De La Cruz coming off the court. So the 5 on the floor for the Vikings will be Sharifi, Gaines, Skylar Henrich, LaPerry, and last but not least, Grace Oakley. 11-2 our score at the 6:34-minute mark. Grace Oakley from the right wing, working around the perimeter. Ping pongs inside, and the ball was touched as it was released by Sharifi, but the Vikings with another offensive rebound. Tegan Gaines, the Euro step inside. And you can see why Sydney Grant averages 10 rebounds a game. I mean, she went up there and snagged it. It's Mancuso now, has the ball knocked away as she drove inside. And the Vikings have held Mancuso off the board in the first 4 minutes of play here. Feet ahead. And we talked about Tegan Gaines being able to dominate a game, and that's what she's doing in this early going. 9 points already out of the 13 for the Vikings, and it's 13-2 at the 5:50 mark. Mancuso driving the baseline, and finally the first points for the #1 scorer in California.
A little bit of miscommunication there on the help defense from the Vikings.
And the Vikings trying to answer offensively now. Grace, pump fakes from the three-point line, goes up with the floater, no good. And the carom brought in by Rubio Perez. Yeah, this is what I expect to see a lot more of. Mancuso handling the ball and really just playing some ISO ball here. Mancuso went inside the lane, tried to pass it over to Sydney Grant. And Grant had the ball knocked away, but got it back. And now Laguna Gonzalez whips it over to the right wing. Driving the baseline is Mancuso. Mancuso, difficult angle, man. What a scoring shot. She worked herself to almost a position where she couldn't get a shot, but still found a way to contort and get one off. 13-6 now. Sharifi nearly had the ball knocked away. Elbows her way inside, and Sharifi with some nice post moves. 2 points for her, averages 9.6 points per game, 7.6 rebounds per game. Second leading rebounder for the Vikes. Mancuso from between the circles. They'll have her work off the ball for just a moment. Back over to Mancuso. Left wing to Carpel. Right-handed dribble. Goes up with the right-handed shot inside, and wow. Some nice finishes inside by Mancuso and Haley Carpel. It's 15-8 now, as ARC has gone on a little bit of a run on their own. Left wing three-point shot, and Lexi finding the range from deep. She's really stepped into some of those deep two-point shots as she's really starting to come into her own now with the three ball dropping, and the Vikings extend the lead back up to 10, 18-8. Mancuso aggressive behind the back dribble, and the three-point shots left short. Karam brought in once more by Gaines. Gaines over to Oakley, and Oakley knocked to her rear end, earning a trip to the free throw line. Not many free throw attempts on the year for Grace Oakley, but she is 7 for 9 coming in these two attempts right now. Substitutions now as Lexi LaPerry and Sharifi go to the bench. In comes back De La Cruz as well as Sky Parker, and the first free throw for the Vikings and the first point of the game for Grace Oakley now, the freshman from Bishop O'Dowd. Second free throw, left it too strong, and the Vikings weren't able to get after an attempt at an O-board. So it'll be Haley Carpel driving over to the right elbow. Good defense from the Vikings, forcing her to give it up. Laguna Gonzalez throws it away, stolen by Izzy De La Cruz. Izzy off to the races, turns around. Grace Oakley from the right wing. Cash! Grace has been such a nice outside presence. The numbers don't necessarily show it, but man, she is one of the better three-point shooters on the team for the Vikings. And that drain triple will send us to another timeout here. 3:19 remaining in the first quarter of play. Vikings with a 22-8 lead over the Beavers of ARC. Back on the other side on DVC Vikings Live. Back here in this 3:19, 22-8 game. And the Vikings have the ball, but a nice, interesting observation here by Ryan Schill.
Yeah, so when DVC is on defense, typically when Mancuso has the ball, they want to stay on her, but the rest of the defenders are almost like a box-and-one defense where they're sagging off, zoning up. And when it's off ball and Mancuso doesn't have the ball, whoever's guarding her right now, De La Cruz, typically stays straight on her and is not going to let her try and get the ball back.
But Mancuso's a heck of a scorer and able to get the basket, and the Vikings cherry picking on the other side gets Sky Parker fed, and Sky's got 6 early on. Yeah, like, it's a man-to-man defense, but I mean, you're dragging so far off, you're just not letting Mancuso drive to the hoop.
Yeah, it's just to deter as much as possible and hopefully make other players make a play on offense.
And Rubio Perez almost on the other end of that feed there as she misses the 15-foot jumper from the baseline. And a jump ball, possession arrow will go and stay with ARC, however. Yeah, I think we're going to have to see a lot more assisting based on the way that the Vikings are playing Mancuso tonight. Rubio Perez gets the inbound. Laguna Gonzalez now back over to Mancuso. Mancuso with 20 on the shot clock will work with Izzy De La Cruz on her. Over to the corner. It looks like Mancuso just wanted to reset her dribble, but instead they leave Carpel open, and she's off the mark with her own 3, cleared by Gaines. 14-point advantage for the Vikings here with 2:11 remaining, and Izzy's found her spot from the short white wing, but unable to get the free throw to drop. I like to see that from Izzy, though. She's been all about the assist tonight, but she's got to get her game going at some points on offense, shooting the ball as well. Another missed attempt by Rubio Perez as she missed the 15-footer, and another jump ball as the Vikings will get the possession arrow this time. Yeah, Rubio Perez, not necessarily the biggest scorer, but man, she brings a lot of energy on the floor, and the Vikings are essentially allowing her to take some of those 15-footers from the baseline now. Substitutions now as Tanaya Lindsay for the first time tonight comes into the game alongside Sharifi and Sky Parker. And it's Izzy De La Cruz who knocks down the shot from the short right wing. Nice little 18-foot jumper from Izzy, and the last one on the floor is Tegan. They're just gluing De La Cruz on top of Mancuso here. Right wing now, a feed inside this time. It's over to Sydney Grant, and Grant is fouled on the shot attempt. Sydney Grant to the free throw line. A 51% free throw shooter. She's been 75% since Big 8 play started. Well, let's see which trend continues here. For a substitution as Miracle Armstrong comes in, the sophomore guard out of Oakmount. And she replaces, trying to get a number, I believe it's Laguna Gonzalez she replaces. And my eyes were off the ball, but the scoreboard ticks. So the first free throw went in for Sydney Grant. Those are her first points. Second free throw off the mark, cleaned up by Gaines once more. I mean, Gaines already has 9 points, and I believe that's her 4th rebound. Tegan cutting to the hole, drops it off last moment. And Sky Parker, a little too strong, trying to follow up the attempt, but the ball will touch out of bounds. Last touched off of Parker.
You're fine with those shots, though. It was a great possession. Tegan Gaines drew the defense in from her pump fake on the perimeter, and Sky Parker was in the perfect position at the block down low.
Yeah, and that's where Sky eats, really, just on that block. She sits there and just dominates. Another lob inside, the overplay, a terrific steal by Sky Parker as Tanaya Lindsay brings it down the floor. Lindsay driving the baseline, spun around, and Sharifi didn't take the 3. I want to see Tanaya attack a little bit more on offense there. She had an open shot at the hoop. Really deep 2-point shot as Sharifi is off the mark once more. Sharifi over 2 to start this game as Mancuso gets the board and brings it down the floor. Mancuso steps around, right hand inside, and Mancuso has 8 points now. 8 points for her. The leading scorer is still Gaines at 9. Tegan Gaines right side of the block, and Tegan trying to answer the call. No good, though. And it looks like a woman is down the floor as Sydney Grant can't make it down the floor. Mancuso fighting, and that is how you end up having, 70 or 97 free throws coming in. Aggressive down the floor, getting the contact, and even though you're down 1 player, still getting a chance to go to the free throw line.
Yeah, Mancuso really aggressive there. You could tell not necessarily had a plan dribbling in, but just wanted to draw a foul, and she got the 2 free throws.
And a timeout now as an injured player leaves the floor. Good to see Sydney Grant. She was holding her knee on the floor. Happy to see that she's able to get up on her own power and isn't even really trying to go over to the trainer's table. So that's a good sign. So she will be replaced. We'll get you the 5 on the floor. It'll be Adriana Rubio Perez with Mancuso, Ashley Laguna Gonzalez, Miracle Armstrong, and the last one on the floor is Haley Carpel. 9.9 seconds remaining here, and 2 free throw attempts for Mancuso, as the first one is up and in. She ties Tegan Gaines for the leading scorer of the game at 9 points, have an opportunity to take that title now. Deep breath, 2 dribbles, extends, and finds it at the bottom of the net. Both of the free throws for Mancuso are in. And the Vikings answer with another cherry-picked basket this time. It's Skylar Henrich running the floor, getting the delivery right underneath the basket. And that'll be a last shot attempt of the first quarter of play. And the Vikings open up the game with a ton of scoring, 28-15, as they have the 13-point advantage over the Beavers of ARC after 10 minutes of play here on DVC Vikings Live. Back here, they haven't reset the clock yet, but there's 10 minutes remaining here in the second quarter of play. And it's great to see Sydney Grant being able to come back into the game after falling down and hitting her knee early on. So let's get you a reset of who's on the floor. It's Tanaya Lindsay with Izzy De La Cruz, Skylar Henrich, who just scored the last basket for the Vikings, as well as Tegan Gaines and Tamana Sharifi. And on the other side, we'll get you it in just a moment as Miracle Armstrong will hand the ball off over to Carpel. It's to Mancuso, who just knocked down those last 2 free throws. And Mancuso, the runner from the free throw line. Oh, what a rebound. Sharifi just absolutely went over Sydney Grant and got that board. Right wing attempt, a little too strong for Henrich, an offensive rebound and a foul as well. Skylar Henrich Tegan Gaines able to get to the free throw line.
Gaines showed amazing footwork right there, was able to kind of get the defender going one way, step through, and hip check, and she got fouled 2 free throws.
The foul will be against Rubio Perez, I believe is who they called it on. And the first free throw is good. Tegan now tying back up Mancuso for the leading scorer as she knocks down her first. And the second as well. Tegan 2 for 2 from the free throw line. She's got 11 points now. And this might be Tegan Gaines versus Tamai Mancuso. I think they've got that one wrong because I don't actually see Rubio Perez on the floor. So I think instead of 22, they meant 12. So we'll see how they fix that up in just a moment. Miracle Armstrong able to cut to the hole. Instead, a drop off over to Sydney Grant. Turns around, top of the key, it's Carpel. Jab steps, shoots the 3. No good. A nice box out. And another snared ball by Tegan Gaines. Dribbling through defenders. Right-handed shot. A terrific finish. 4 points for Tamana Sharifi. I mean, it's not the prettiest looking stuff, but man, she is effective. Mancuso continues to probe. Nada Carpel. Cross-court pass over to Laguna Gonzalez. Laguna Gonzalez, baseline jumper. Lean too far one way, missed the shot, brought in by Henrich. Henrich over to Tanaya Lindsay. Turns around underneath the basket, she stepped out of bounds. The feed was just a little too deep inside of the post, and Tanaya wasn't able to get there in time. Haley Carpel crosses the timeline as the Vikings elect not to put the pressure on now. They put the press on. They got 4 or 5 different steals, but now they're electing to play some half-court defense. Mancuso, a nice little floater from the baseline, and she's got 12 points now. I mean, she's got an offensive arsenal like no other that we've seen this year.
One step and you're off, and she's to the basket getting a bucket.
The turnover from De La Cruz feeds Mancuso, but she smokes the layup. Sharifi with another pickup. Tania Lindsay left all alone, fouled going to the hole. That's 11-on-11 crime as Sydney Grant will pick up her first, fouling Tania Lindsay. And Tania, 6 for 10 from the free throw line this year, will have an opportunity to get that number a little higher.
Really strong move to the basket. She definitely earned these 2 free throws as the defense had to choose between her or the other player on the block.
Shuffles the feet, goes up. And just a little bit of an awkward form for Tania Lindsay as she misses the first. You can see, though, a nice little adapt, taking half a foot back from the free throw line. And the second free throw is good. First point of the game for Tania Lindsay, and it's the 33rd point for the Vikings to the 17 of ARC. Laguna Gonzalez trapped on the right wing, doesn't want to take the 3. Now it's Carpel driving the baseline, nice bounce pass, and an offensive rebound off a missed shot, and then finally getting the basket to drop. Sydney Grant's got 3 points now. That's one way to get some rebounds. And a block by Miracle Armstrong. She saw Izzy De La Cruz cutting to the hole and just stood her ground, swatted that one out of bounds. So 23 seconds left on the shot clock, and the Vikings will have another opportunity from the right side of the baseline. De La Cruz wearing that mask again today. Got her nose busted up in that Santa Monica game. She's fighting through the pain. Has the ball knocked away once more. 17 seconds remaining now, so the Vikings will inbound it once more. Yeah, I can't imagine how playing with that mask affects you. I mean, it fogs up, it clogs up some of your vision. Also, just the Vikings don't play with many rotations. So when you're playing upwards of 35 minutes in a game, as Sharifi, after the inbounds pass from De La Cruz, will get the basket to drop. But finishing my point there, when you're playing 35 minutes and you can't really breathe through your nose, that's got to be difficult.
There's definitely an adjustment period that has to take place.
And Mancuso kicks it out to the left wing. It's Armstrong for 3, and Miracle Armstrong knocks down the triple. Limited shooting attempts, but she is a 35% three-point shooter, able to get her first basket of the game and cut the lead back down to 12. Nearly a line change coming to the scorer's table for the Vikings here as Gaines has the ball from the right wing. Tania Lindsay gets the inbounds pass, clears off some space, gets the basket, but called for the shove. Tania picks up her first. And that'll be the first on the Vikings as well. 2 fouls against ARC in this quarter, 1 against the Vikings. That'll send Henrich, Sharifi, and Lindsay to the bench. And it'll be Oakley as well as De La Cruz, Sky Parker, Gaines, and LaPerry back in the game for the Vikes. Armstrong gets the feed from the left wing once more. It'll be Carpel dribbling down the right side of the wing. Has the ball knocked away as she tried to feed it over to Grant. And now Mancuso, another strong move to the basket. And another better strong rebound by Parker. Drives all the way inside, drops it off. Parker's got 8 points now off some really nice feeds. I mean, just driving all the way to the hoop, and then everybody collapses onto whoever's driving down, and then Sky Parker is getting some of the easiest looks she's gotten all year. 37-22. Carpel firing away from deep. I won't say that's the best looking three-point shot attempt I've ever seen, but man, able to find the bottom of the net. Can't complain about effective results there. Inbounds pass once more. Ball was knocked out of the hands of Parker as she elevated. A nice little swat away and a steal by Sydney Grant. And now Mancuso trying to answer with a triple of her own. Long rebound will go over to Miracle Armstrong. Had the ball swatted away, man. What a block by Sky Parker. Read the situation perfectly. Saw Miracle Armstrong go up for a deep 2-point shot and just, I mean, give me the Mutombo there. No, no, no.
American River College had hit the past couple of outside jump shots, so I think Sky Parker realized that they were going to try and fire one up again, and she read it perfectly and got the defense rejection.
12-point lead for the Vikings once more, 37-35 at the 5:10 mark. And LaPerry doesn't settle for a deep shot. Instead, she stops her dribble, and it's over to Sky Parker once more. Extra pass goes to Gaines, driving the baseline. Gaines, easy layup for her 13th point.
Beautiful ball movement right there by the Vikings, passing it all around the court, inside the key to outside to the baseline, and resulted in a layup.
Yeah, when the ball's moving like that, and you're playing some great basketball and everybody's getting involved, that's a nice way to get out of this little bit of a slump. Deep 2-point shot, shoved off after getting the rebound is Sky Parker, but Parker able to get the board after the missed Laguna Gonzalez shot. And another cherry-picked basket, this time on the reception, it's Grace Oakley. It just seems like the Vikings are pushing down the floor, and they want it a little bit more than ARC right now, 41-25. 4:20 remaining here in the second quarter, as one of the officials is getting an earful from Casey Waters off of a made basket. That's pretty funny to see. Mancuso with 7 seconds. The entry pass is picked off. A steal for Sky Parker. And now De La Cruz rushing down the middle of the floor. 15-footer not taken. Instead, the move inside, and Lexi LaPerry unable to get the shot from the block to drop. Carpel over to Armstrong. Left-handed dribble, back to Mancuso. Ball fake, behind the back with the dribble. Going to the left block. And that is a shot that, I mean, not a high statistical shot with two defenders on you, but when you're a scorer like Mancuso, you'll take it any day. Leaning in on the other side, getting to the block was Tegan Gaines, and she's fouled on the attempt. So the third and fourth free throws for Tegan, the freshman from Northgate, ready to fire away from the free throw line.
Even off made baskets, DVC is able to get down the court faster than American River College is able to get back on defense. Not many subs have been in this game for American River College. It seems like their players may be getting a little bit tired with how much fast-paced play DVC plays, whereas DVC is more normalized to it. So it's good for DVC to keep this up. 14
points for Tegan Gaines now, as she ties up the leading scorer in Mancuso and has another opportunity to shoot a free throw. Misses the second attempt there as Sydney Grant able to get it off the rack. But yeah, the pace is definitely showing right now. I mean, you see hands on knees by Mancuso. I mean, her offensive usage rate this game has been off the charts already. Sydney Grant over Rubio Perez, who checks back into the game. Now Carpel, 7 seconds remaining. Tanaya Lindsay to the scorer's table for the Vikings. Behind the back with the dribble once more. Mancuso clears some space. I mean, just call it the scoring machine at this point. 16 points for Mancuso. 42-29. And a little too strong with the shoulder check by Sky Parker as she knocks her defender to the ground and will pick up the foul. That'll be the third on Sky Parker. That's something to factor in. Grace Oakley checks out for Tanaya Lindsay. And for ARC, it's Sydney Grant, Mancuso, alongside Laguna Gonzalez, Carpel, and Rubio Perez. Mancuso with the entry pass knocked away, but still able to get the ball back, but misses the 12-foot jumper. That was Sydney Grant missing the 12-foot jumper. 2 minutes, 15 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. And the Vikings have shot themselves in the foot the last couple possessions. A travel called against LaPerry, and LaPerry will turn the ball over. LaPerry doesn't really turn the ball over much. She's 40th or 39th in the 3C2A in assists per game, or in total assists, I should say, and 17th in assists to turnover. She doesn't foul much, and she doesn't really turn the ball over, so a rare mistake by Lexi LaPerry. Mancuso getting a turn with LaPerry on her this time. And Carpel fading jumper, no good. Ball still live. On the ground was Henrich, falling to the ground. Passes to another woman on her rear end. The Vikings able to break away with the charge. The 3-on-2, drops it off over to Lindsay. And Tanaya Lindsay misses the shot. Board goes up again, trying to get to the free throw line, but no call on the play. And Rubio Perez will get the rebound eventually, but steps out of bounds in the process. I mean, that's all effort there by Skylar Henrich, being able to get the rebound from nearly her rear end, but she passed it to the other player who fell on the ground, and Tegan Gaines. And the Vikings very fortunate to be able to get that possession. And a foul again, as Gaines is just collecting it from the free throw line now. These will be her 5th and 6th attempts here, with 1:39 remaining in the second.
On some of the Vikings inbound plays, they really do love getting plays towards the block and screens off those actions in order to get a little bit of a mismatch going towards the hoop. And right there, Tegan Gaines was able to take advantage of it off of an amazing pass from De La Cruz.
Yeah, De La Cruz is definitely one of the better assisters. And both of the free throws find the bottom of the net. 5 for 6 from the free throw line now in this game is Tegan Gaines. So substitutions here. We'll see who comes off. It'll be Carpel coming off. And in her replacement, the first time we're going to see Derica Lewis tonight. Mancuso, Derica Lewis, Rubio Perez, Laguna Gonzalez, and Sydney Grant. Those are the 5 on the floor in the final 1 minute and 30 seconds for ARC. Right-handed jump shot. And the hook shot, I should say, rather, for Mancuso's no good. Vikings breaking away. Izzy De La Cruz left all alone, and De La Cruz misses the layup. Nice job, a nice hustle by Lexi LaPerry, though, as LaPerry's got 5 points now. I mean, it was 2-0 there, and De La Cruz just missed the free throw. And I mean, the extra hustle from LaPerry being able to get position and being able to clean it up for the Vikes. 46-29. Under 1 minute to play. Mancuso with the Euro, goes inside, left-handed shot. But she is fouled in the process. And with 55.6 seconds left, we'll see 2 more free throw attempts for Mancuso. A deep breath for Mancuso. First free throw, nothing but net. 17 points for her, the leading scorer in the game, as she's been competing with Tegan Gaines tonight. 2004 tatted on the back of her calf as she's got the leg sleeve going on for her. Second free throw off the mark, though. Trying to arch her back to get that rebound was Grant, but the ball was tipped in the hands of Henrich, who runs down the floor. Henrich bulldozes her way inside, loses the ball in the process.
A little bit interesting that there was a no call there either way. The ref just let them play, I guess.
Yeah, in that situation, you're a little bit late on the play as well. You didn't quite see it clearly. No call and just keep it moving. 16-point lead for the Vikes here, 46-30 with 42 seconds remaining. It's the Mancuso show once more. They're leaving Rubio Perez from the 15-foot jumper mark. She doesn't take this time, drives inside and turns it over. Lexi LaPerry with the steal. And now from the left wing, stops her momentum. 2-second shot clock, game clock difference here. And the Vikings seem to be content with using the clock. LaPerry over to Henrich. Running the offense from the top of the key. Finds LaPerry from the corner. LaPerry, no good. Board once more. Henrich cleans it up and gets the bucket. Skylar Henrich, only 4 points tonight, but man, she's giving the Vikings so much hustle on the floor. Mancuso answers with a 3-point shot, and the last rebound will be snagged down by Tegan Gaines. And I don't have official numbers on rebounds, but I've got to think Tegan's pretty close to a double-double throughout the first 20 minutes of play.
Yeah, just really good rebounding from a whole from all of DVC. I mean, they're forcing American River College to take really tough shots, but that also means that there's a lot of opportunities for offensive rebounds. So they're doing a really good job boxing out.
So at the halftime break, we'll give you some numbers. De La Cruz only 2 points, 6 points for Grace Oakley, 5 points for LaPerry, 1 point for Tanaya Lindsay, 4 points for Skylar Henrich, 16 points for Tegan Gaines, as she's been on fire here, 6 points for Tamana Sharifi, and 8 points for Skylar Parker. On the other side, it's been the Mancuso show, 17 points for Tamai Mancuso, averages 30 points per game, and I mean, she's already over that mark as per her average. 3 points for Sydney Grant, 5 points for Haley Carpel, and 2 points for Adriana Rubio Perez. So, with that, it'll send us to a halftime break. Vikings with the big advantage here at the halftime break. 48-30 our score here with 14 minutes remaining here at the halftime break. And we'll be back on the other side here on DVC Vikings Live. About 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in the halftime break, but just a friendly reminder, the 10th annual poker tournament will be coming up at the HSF building on February 3rd. It's one of the Vikings' only athletics fundraisers here, so come out, have some fun with DVC Athletics. I mean, it's a ton of fun. All you can eat and drink. It's $40 to attend, $75 to play, $20 rebuys. And if you win first place, you'll take home $500. Second place takes home $250. Third place takes home $200. So even if you're not playing, come by, hang out with some friendly staff here. Of course, it's 21 and up. Go to eventbrite.com and search DVC Poker. The event will take place on February 3rd at the HSF building. Come join us from 5:30 to 6, and 6 to 10 is when the tournament will be going on. So as the men's team warms up here, we got about 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here at the halftime break. The women's teams haven't come out of the locker room yet, and this is kind of typical of a doubleheader. So of course the second game will tip off at about 7:30. So depending on when this one finishes and all that jazz, that's when we'll get things going. But in the first half, it's been a half dominated by the DVC Vikings. They came out to a strong start, and if I'm not mistaken, they got a double-digit lead to start the game, and they really just haven't relinquished it at all. It's an 18-point lead for the Vikings here, 48-30. And I mean, realistically, this is one of the best performances we've seen from the Vikings up to this point.
Exactly. You could say that their game plan going into the game was to really control the pace. You know, even when they're not pressing, they're still getting out in transition, getting easy layups, and American River College looks like a team that they haven't really seen that all season, and DVC's definitely taken advantage of it.
Yeah, and the Vikings, they've seen it, I believe, especially because they played some other teams like Sierra early on here, but it's just like, it's so hard to adjust to that heavy pressure. The Vikings only really put it on for about 6 minutes, and then after that point, I just think that they didn't want to really waste the legs. In that situation, when you're there, it's like putting on that press the whole entire time takes a lot out of you. So when you have the luxury of being able to go in there, set up your half-court defense, save a little bit of energy, why not take that opportunity?
Exactly, yeah. You just have to really read the game and how it's going. Right now, American River College is so ball dominant, obviously, with Mancuso, that the other players aren't necessarily accustomed to being relied on to make not only shots, but plays for other players as well. That's what DVC's, even though Mancuso only has 17 points already, they've actually played a really good defensive half against her.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of her finishes were just tough shots, and you can see why she's such a great scorer. I'm sure every single team has a game plan for her, but then when you see her live and she's dribbling through double, triple teams and still getting tough shots to drop, that's just a great player. One of the things about basketball that has been true, at least in the last decade or so, is that good offense will always trump good defense. And, Mancuso is a key example of that tonight.
Yeah, she really is the definition of that, and it's interesting to see how DVC kind of tries to keep up with that defensive scheme and maybe not letting her get at the easiest shots possible.
And so Sharifi running onto the floor here just as the buzzer rings. And so the 5 on the floor for the Vikings will be the starters. It'll be De La Cruz LaPerry alongside Gaines, who had a heck of a start of the night for herself, 16 points, nearing a double-double. And Sky Parker, as well as Sharifi. Those are the 5 on the floor for the Vikes. We'll get you the 5 on the floor for ARC in just a moment. Vikings working left to right now. Gray tops, gray bottoms with the green numerals and the green trim. LaPerry from the left wing. Behind the back with the dribble. And LaPerry gets the feed back from the left wing. 8 seconds left. LaPerry will settle with the floater. 15-footer, no good. Hit the rim, though, and the offensive rebound for the Vikings. They've honestly dominated the O-boards tonight. LaPerry with 20 seconds left on the shot clock. A handoff over Sharifi. And our rotation. And Gaines left alone. Straightaway three-point shot. That's right where she likes it, just on that cusp of the NBA three-point range, but unable to get the ball to drop that attempt. 1 minute nearly off the clock here in the third quarter. And the Vikings some good-looking opportunities, unable to capitalize on them, however. Mancuso to Carpel. And a driving attempt now by Rubio Perez goes left side off the mark. She slaps it up in the air, so 4 seconds left. Carpel will have to fire away a three-point shot. No good. Right hand on the ball, unable to get the rebound was Gaines, and now another opportunity for the Beavers. Mancuso, Carpel alongside Sydney Grant, Adriana Rubio Perez, and Laguna Gonzalez. Those are the 5 on the floor. 9 seconds left. It'll be Carpel once more, had the ball knocked away. I mean, that was just Tegan who runs the floor, gets the ball, she has to come back for it, still able to get straight to the hole, but a little too strong on the attempt. Good sportsmanship by Carpel trying to pick up Tegan at the end of the play. I mean, just a terrific swat, and she almost got the defensive stop and the play, and the Vikings get the defensive stop there. A lob ahead into the hands of Sydney Grant, and the Vikings turn the ball over.
A little bit of a sloppy beginning both ways for both teams coming out of the half here.
And the Vikings still had that advantage there, as no points have been scored up to this point here. 2 minutes into the third quarter of play. Mancuso directing the offense from the baseline, turns around, hits the side of the backboard, and off the ricochet, it's De La Cruz breaking away. It's a 2-on-1 now. Sky Parker gets straight to her spot, and Parker picks up her business she left off in the first half. She's into double digits now. Ball thrown behind, but the Vikings, or pardon me, it's ARC electing to take a timeout here. Vikings open up a 20-point lead, and that'll send us to our first timeout here in the third quarter at the 7:21-minute mark on DVC Vikings Live. .21 remaining here in the third. Vikings have the 20-point advantage here, and this 2-0 third quarter of play. Rubio Perez to inbound from the right side of the baseline. Does so in her own backcourt and had the ball knocked away. Vikings lob ahead, and they turn the ball over once more. It's been a very sloppy start to the first 3 minutes of play of the second half. Baseball pass over to the far side. Vikings putting on the pressure once more. That's Laguna Gonzalez nearly throwing it away, but Rubio Perez able to get the ball and break the timeline just in time. Carpel left all alone, unable to will that three-point shot to drop, and a strong rebound by Gaines as she's fouled in the process. No hard foul, or no bad blood though, as Sydney Grant says sorry in that situation. Lexi LaPerry calling the play as she brings it across the midcourt stripe at the 6:50 mark. De La Cruz, only 2 points tonight, but she's been moving the ball along very well for the Vikes. Inbounds pass over to Parker is tipped away, finds a cutting Cruz. De La Cruz over to Sharifi, another assist, and Sharifi's got 8 points.
Really great off-the-ball movement by DVC right there. Got it to De La Cruz cutting into the paint and was able to dish it to the woman on the block, which was Sharifi.
Long pass intercepted. Vikings get the steal. LaPerry from the left wing. Offensive rebound, Parker off the missed shot. And now Sharifi, a right-handed shot. And Sharifi, back-to-back buckets. She's into double digits now. I thought she was going to go with the left-handed attempt, but Sharifi turned around last moment and just lined herself up perfectly with the rim as she knocks the ball away. Goes out of bounds, so there's 26 seconds left on the shot clock. And from the near side, right side baseline, it'll be Rubio Perez to inbound. Over the top to Mancuso. And as the ball was knocked out of bounds, it'll force the Vikings to retreat on their press. Rubio Perez, tattoo on her right forearm. Dribbles the ball with that same arm. Tries to work the glass, no good. And off the window, the Vikings will get the rebound. Lexi LaPerry, a strong move over the block. And LaPerry with a pretty flick of a finish. Vikings extend their lead, and they hold ARC off the scoreboard now. They're at the first 4 minutes and 30 seconds of play. Miracle Armstrong to the left block, and the first basket of the half will be Rubio Perez off a nice feed from Miracle Armstrong. Lob inside for the Vikings from the block. Back over the corner. LaPerry's going to cut to the hole. LaPerry tries to work the right side of the glass. No good. Rebound brought in by Sydney Grant. It'll be Mancuso now, running the offense with 16 seconds remaining. Mancuso driving right hand off the glass. And the first points for Mancuso, those are her 19th points. And the Vikings will elect to use their first timeout here at the 4:48-minute mark of the third quarter. A very fast-playing game here throughout the third quarter to start. And it's 56-34, a 22-point advantage for the Vikings here with 4:48 remaining here on DVC Vikings Live. Pardon your ears as the second buzzer rings here. 4:48 remaining, and Izzy De La Cruz rated inbound it right in front of us here at the mid-court stripe. De La Cruz over to LaPerry, and the starters are still on the floor for the Vikings here. 56-34, 4:43 remaining. Ball's knocked in the back of Rubio Perez. A nice job swatting the ball away for Sydney Grant, but the Vikings keep it. Turn around. Flips the shot up. Parker misses the shot, but all the activity getting the O board there. That was 100% effort. LaPerry bounces over to Sky Parker. Sky, a nice hard cut to the hole. Terrific job. Stood at the top of the key, gave the shoulder fake, and gets to pay dirt. 12 points now for Parker. Second team All-League in high school, a captain over at Alhambra High School. And I mean, it's a small roster, but she's definitely one of the leaders here on this team. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Miracle Armstrong rotates over to Mancuso. Mancuso with 7 seconds. She'll dribble. Passes it inside. The extra pass outside. The ball swatted away once more. The Vikings have had at least 4 blocks, and Teagan's been on the other end of multiple of them. And gains the stop on one side and the shimmy to the hole on the other. 60-34, 3:33 remaining. Coach Garski calling out the play from the sideline for the Vikings now as Carpel comes to the scorer's table for ARC. Rubio Perez now to Mancuso. The ball hasn't been in Mancuso's hands quite as much here in the second half. And Mancuso, a nice dominating move inside, but whoa, met at the summit. Teagan with another block. Back-to-back possessions here. The turnaround and a nice assist over to LaPerry as LaPerry's got 9 points off the feed from De La Cruz.
De La Cruz is super aware there on the fast break. Noticed that LaPerry was right behind her, almost like she had eyes in the back of her head, and was able to dish it off for the open layup.
And I think when you've played as many minutes together on the floor as those two have, you understand where the other person's going to be. A nice move inside, and that was Laguna Gonzalez trying to get her offensive game going, but just a little bit awkward with the form at the end of the play. Sharifi now to the top of the key. Bounces over to De La Cruz, and she'll run the set from there. Gains. Bounces. It's Sharifi now. To Parker. Parker doubled. Parker spins around. I mean, you like the idea, but Parker unable to get the finish. 62-34. Vikings trying to open up a 30-piece here. Right-handed shot from Mancuso. Curls out, but Mancuso to the free throw line once more on a 5th and 6th attempts upcoming for the sophomore from Benicia.
even with all the defense focused on her, she's still able to get 2 feet step right into the paint, right to the layup, and you're just forced to foul her. It's pretty amazing.
I mean, I just, like, yes, she can obviously shoot it from anywhere on the floor, but it's her ball handling and her ability to really dribble so cleanly to get to these spots that impresses me the most.
Especially when the defense is just keyed in on her. Like, that is the game plan. It's just, you don't really see that every single day.
You don't, and you also don't see too many missed free throws, but back-to-back missed free throws for Mancuso now. Mancuso, a 78% free throw shooter coming to the game. Takes the deep breath, and I think a lot of that might be usage rate and fatigue as she knocks down the second. 4 for 6 from the free throw line, and Mancuso's got 20 points now. Vikings answer with a triple of their own. No good, but chases down her own rebound with some help from Sharifi was LaPerry. Nearly has the ball knocked away as Tegan Gaines smiles, steps into a three-point shot, the straightaway triple, and Tegan, 21 points. I mean, if Mancuso gets that advantage, Tegan says, hey, let me try one of my own. Vikings open up the 30-piece here with 1 minute and 37 seconds remaining in the third. Rubia Perez doesn't settle for the deep 2-point shot. Instead, over to Carpel. Bounces over to Rubia Perez, and another steal. Tegan's been everywhere tonight. You can hear Coach Sam Garsky yelling push. He wants his players to go all the way down the floor. And just pushed a little short was Gaines from the right wing. And a ball from one of the men's basketball players falls into the line of play, so the officials are going to give them a little sideline warning here. And that'll give us an opportunity to get some substitutions on the floor. Grace Oakley will replace Tamana Sharifi. The starters for the Vikings played about 9 minutes here in the third quarter. And I think the subs will start to get some more rotations into this game. So it's Oakley, Sky Parker, Tegan Gaines, Alexi LaPerry, and Dayla Cruz for the Vikes. On the other side, Mancuso handles the ball alongside Alexandria Davis, who comes in for her first playing time. The fresh legs clear some space inside, drops it off over to Sydney Grant, and Grant fouled in the process. So I gave you 3 of them. The last 2 on the floor were Miracle Armstrong alongside Haley Carpel. And Sydney Grant averages 10.6 rebounds per game. The Vikings have been doing a good job really boxing her out. But in this opportunity, fouled in the process of shooting. Sky Parker to the bench. In comes Skylar Henrich now. And 2 opportunities from the line for Grant. First one off the mark. And she is able to knock down the second. So 2 for 4 from the free throw line, and she's got 4 points now, Sydney Grant. Under 1 minute to play here in the third. Skylar Henrich, left elbow extended. Too strong. Corralled in by Mancuso. Mancuso with the stutter step, had the ball knocked away, went right back to her though. And as she tried to feed her big inside of the post, Tegan Gaines got the ball. Quick hands from De La Cruz forcing that situation. And quick feet opening up an opportunity for 50 feet out. And Oakley unable to capitalize on the assist. 20 seconds until the fourth quarter break. And it looks like ARC is just going to use their time, try to get a clean looking shot. Right-handed yo-yo dribble for Mancuso. She'll get a screen, the switch. Opportunity from the baseline, double clutches, and another board brought in by Gaines. Vikings unable to get the shot attempt off at the at the buzzer, I should say. And the Vikings hold ARC to only 6 points here in the third quarter of play, extending their lead up 65-36. So the Vikings opening up a huge can of, I can't say that word on air, so just opening up a huge can of, help me out, Ryan. What's the word I'm looking for in a PG manner?
They scored a lot of points.
There you go. They scored a lot of points here in this third quarter of play, and they'll send us to our break here. 10 minutes remaining in the 65-36 point game on DVC Vikings Live. And just a friendly reminder, the 10th annual poker tournament is coming up. It's a ton of fun with a lot of your favorite people here from DVC Athletics. Go to eventbrite.com and search DVC Poker for more information. 10 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of play, and we'll get you the reset of the players on the floor. So inbounding right in front of us here on the near baseline is Miracle Armstrong. She's joined by Haley Carpel. Alexandria Davis is still in the game. Mancuso, of course, still in there alongside Sydney Grant. Ball knocked away, last touched by ARC. So the Vikings will get the ball here after a no-shot attempt from ARC.
Really good job by the Vikings there, fronting the post, was able to cause a deflection, and it's DVC ball right now.
Izzy De La Cruz to handle up the floor. She's joined with LaPerry, flanking her off the left. Starter still on the floor for the most part, as actually all of them are on the floor. Sharifi opened up, and Samana, man. We talked about it with the coaches before the game with Casey Waters, or before last game, Casey Waters and Garski. Awkward looking shot, but it's so effective, you don't want to change it. Miracle Armstrong off the mark with her three. And another rebound for Sky Parker. She's got to be closing in on that double-double territory now. Another attempt with the runner for Sharifi, and Sharifi off the mark. It's Mancuso driving the baseline. Mancuso fires a shot away. And a rebound brought in for a moment by Tegan Gaines, but it was knocked off of Gaines before she could fully clean it up. It'll be Carpel to inbound from the right side of the baseline. Gaines draped all over her. Throws it over the right wing. The extra passes to Mancuso. Off the glass, misses the three. Brought in cleanly by De La Cruz. De La Cruz cutting straight to the hole. Offensive rebound Parker. And Parker, looking like a volleyball player, cleans it up and puts it in.
We've seen this multiple times throughout the game. DVC misses an opportunity on a fast break, but more players hustle down and are able to get the offensive rebound and convert the bucket.
Yeah, and a lot of those O boards have been the way of Sky Parker as Mancuso drives to the hole and is fouled in the process. Going back to Parker for a moment, I gave that volleyball reference a little subconsciously because her sister played over at University of Colorado. I believe she actually is in her final year over at Pepperdine now as she transferred over as a graduate. But a Division I volleyball player in her own regard, and you can see athletics definitely runs through the family. First free throw for Mancuso is good, and she's got 21 points now, tying up Tegan Gaines. At the 8:32-minute mark, another opportunity for Mancuso, and the high arcing free throw is good. Back-to-back free throw mix for Mancuso, making her the leader and scorer in the game with 22 points. Tegan nearly answers with a three, but instead she'll dribble back around over to Sky Parker. De La Cruz to Parker, lowers the shoulder, the scoop, no good. Sydney Grant clears it, and Mancuso back up the near side of the floor. 8 minutes, 5 seconds remain here. Vikings with the 31-point advantage. Mancuso trying to dig into that lead. Too strong, still live. Last touch off of Gaines, so the ball will stay with ARC. The shot clock will reset as well. And from the left side baseline, inbounds pass over to Miracle Armstrong. Armstrong with the strong move to the hole. Armstrong with the scoop and one. Armstrong knocked down a three-point shot earlier, and now a nice, really decisive move. Got the ball, went straight down the hole into the trees, and gets the finish and one. First foul against Tegan Gaines here. Second foul on the Vikings in this quarter. And this is Armstrong's first free throw attempt of the year. No good. Vikings able to clean up the glass. And Izzy De La Cruz will bring it down the floor. Lobs it over to shooting guard. Now Sharifi fed inside the post. Offensive rebound by Parker, and Parker will leave it short. Swatted away into the hands of Mancuso. And Mancuso runs into a brick wall, has the ball blocked, but the ball will stay with ARC. I mean, that's a clear example there. Mancuso had the ball knocked away, but her handles were able to get her out that situation as Carpel with a little bit of bunny hop misses the scoop. 69-40 our score here. Sharifi calls for the ball inside of the post, but Izzy De La Cruz says, hey, let's use some clock. Sharifi's trying to get to that ball any way possible, but De La Cruz doesn't want to give it up to her. Instead, hand it off over to LaPerry, and LaPerry turns it over. Just a little bit of wild pass on the sideline. And a substitution here as Alexandria Davis will go to the bench. Back in the starter in Ashley Laguna Gonzalez.
It seems like DVC is starting to kind of want to run their offense, run a few sets instead of continuous fast breaks, because at some point you do want to work on your game even in a 30-point blowout.
And so the Vikings will send in Grace Oakley in replacement of De La Cruz, who's frustrated on the bench after that last turnover. And a missed three-point shot by Mancuso will be brought in. And tipping it, keeping it alive. Nice activity there by Sydney Grant. Just bought ARC 2 more baskets. Or attempts, I should say, at the basket. And now Carpel off a long rebound from the missed three. It'll be Teagan once more. I think you got two Vikings in double territory here, and a spin around and a travel by Gaines as she tried to reclaim the title of the leading scorer of the game. But yeah, I think you've got Teagan Gaines with a double-double and Sky Parker with a double-double. And more impressively, Parker's played with three fouls from about the 3-minute mark of the second quarter or so. So got into foul trouble early and only picked up one in the last about 15 minutes of play. And Mancuso too long on the three. Instead, it's another offensive rebound by Grant. Carpel driving to the left elbow. Passes it up over to Laguna Gonzalez. And now a last-second attempt with Armstrong there. She saw the play clock dripping down into the final seconds and just had to heave it from the hip. Gaines whips it over to the right wing. And LaPerry unable to connect from 19 feet out. 5:31 remaining in this 29-point advantage for the Vikes. Skylar Henrich coming to the scorer's table as Teagan Gaines knocks the ball over twice and is finally called for the foul. Yeah, I want to see the final numbers here because Teagan's got to be, in some crazy territory here. She's definitely got 10 rebounds. She's got 4 or 5 blocks in this game alone with like 4 or 5 steals. Just a heck of a night for her.
Really dominant game. Just both sides of the ball been able to impact the game, and she's still in the game, so chance to run up those numbers a little bit more.
There you go. Vikings still with the 29-point advantage as Mancuso goes into the hole, but the Vikings double her quickly. Skylar Henrich able to pass the ball away to Sky Parker, and the Vikings lob ahead to Grace Oakley. Scoop shots from the right block. Offensive rebound there by LaPerry. And now another feed over to Parker. Right elbow. It's Henrich. Henrich with a beautiful move inside. Skylar Henrich hasn't scored since the first quarter, but she's got 6 points now. Building the advantage up past 30 again. 31-point lead. Haley Carpel. Nice aggressive move inside as the ball still tipped up in the air, continues to fight for it. It was a one-on-one matchup, a grudge match from Sydney Grant and Sky Parker, and Teagan Gaines comes in to help. The assist from Gaines and the finish from Parker. Sky Parker's got 16. 4:10 remaining. Derica Lewis to the scorer's table for ARC. She'll check it at the next stoppage and play. Clapping for the ball. Turnaround jumper. A nice looking attempt by Sydney Grant, but unable to get the shot off. And she smacks Teagan Gaines there as Teagan shaking up on the play. But a lot of good sportsmanship tonight from both sides.
It's been a really clean game tonight, and that's what you want.
Yeah, in this situation, yes, it's not exactly what you're looking for, but no reason getting salty in this situation. Just continue to play some hard-fought basketball and live to fight another day. 5 on the floor for the Vikings after some substitutions. It's Sky Parker, Skylar Henrich, both Skies in, alongside Tanaya Lindsay, De La Cruz, who just checks back in, and Grace Oakley. Oakley from the right wing. Goes over the corner, it's Henrich. Henrich back over to Oakley. 8 seconds left. Diving to the ball. It was Derica Lewis who just checks in. From the left elbow. Gets to the left side of lane. The footwork, and Sky Parker has got 18. Man, just every single post move on display. You saw about 3 different moves before throwing up the floater from 12 feet out. Derica Lewis jumps up. Didn't take her foot off the floor, as it would have been a travel in that situation, but with 10 seconds left, it'll be Mancuso. Mancuso, a contested 3-point shot, too strong, and another clearing rebound by Sky Parker. Under 3 minutes to play here in this first half of our doubleheader. About 20 to 30 minutes after the first game, we'll get the start of the men's basketball game, and we'll have the coverage here as well, here on DVC Vikings Live. And Tanaya Lindsay stops on a dime and has the ball knocked away as she went up for a shot late in the shot clock. 2:32 remaining. And I believe the ball was last touch off of ARC, so the ball will stay with the Vikings here with a 35-point advantage at the 2:32 minute mark. They're gonna have to get the shot clock reset as it's down to 7. Inbounds pass over to Parker, and Parker with the bunny. She's into 20-point marker, so if she gets one more basket, it'll eclipse her career high. That was scored against Sacramento City College on December 20th of this, or I guess of 2023 this season. So let's see if we can get Sky Parker into career high numbers now. The ball knocked away. I mean, just a terrific block by Henrich here. And the Vikings will feed Parker, and Parker gets 22, a new career high for the sophomore from Alhambra High School.
Something that we've seen a lot today, the block party on one end, going on the other end, DVC finishes with a fast break layup.
Huge territory. We'll try to get Sky for a quick little interview after this one. And Mancuso leaves it short, curled out. Offensive rebound by Rubio Perez. And I'm not sure what this call is. I believe it is a foul against Tanaya Lindsay on a push-off off the ball. Second foul against Tanaya, and the ball will stay with ARC at the 1:42 minute mark. Rubio Perez scanning the floor. Over the right elbow, that's Davis passing over to Armstrong, and Armstrong was clogged up inside of the paint. Tanaya Lindsay comes away with it. Parker nearly has the ball knocked away from her. And Lindsay will cut to the hole with 20 seconds remaining. Over to the left elbow, Skylar Hendricks. 8 points now on the night.
Really good draw and kick there by Lindsay. It looks simple, but really that's just all basketball is, and made the right play. 2 points on the elbow jump shot.
Yeah, getting that gravity to flow with you and then dishing it over to the spot that's open. Dribbles off her foot, and that'll be a turnover on Rubio Perez as she tried to work that baseline. 41-point lead for the Vikes here with 1 minute to play in the rest of this one. De La Cruz from the left wing calling for a screen. Instead, she'll find her big woman crossing across the court. And the cut to the ball will send Skylar Hendricks to the free throw line after the foul. Yeah, it was a little interesting. You saw her wave the big inside. That was De La Cruz waving her. And then instead of going for the screen, she cut to the basket, got the ball. And now let's see if Skylar Henrich is able to get to 10 points as she makes the first free throw. Oh, curls out on the second attempt. And so with 43 seconds remaining, Vikings with the 42-point advantage. Trish trying to close this one out. Derica Lewis, right elbow extended, wide left. Ball still alive, another opportunity. It's Armstrong for 3. No go. 100% effort here in the closing moments for ARC as they earn another opportunity. That'll be the 5th foul against DVC, so it should send Derica Lewis to the free throw line. And it will. Terica Lewis, a 60% free throw shooter for the freshman out of Valley High. Lewis is one of those players that doesn't get too much playing time, so it's good to see her be able to find some success here. You can feel the jubilance from her her bench there, just cheering her on after the first made free throw. Second one, no go. Tanaya Lindsay with the board. And the Vikings need to cross the midcourt stripe, but they do not have to take another shot here. And that'll be just it. 82-41 our final here, as Izzy De La Cruz will get this one dribbled out to a close. De La Cruz finishes with 2 points alongside the 6 points from Grace Oakley, 9 points from Lexi LePerry, 1 point for Tanaya Lindsay, 9 points for Skylar Hendrich, 21 points for Tegan Gaines alongside the 12 points for Tamana Sharifi, and the 22 points from Sky Parker as she reaches a new career high on the other side. Mancuso finished the night with 22 points alongside 5 from Miracle Armstrong, 1 point from Derica Lewis, 4 points for Sydney Grant, 5 points for Haley Carpel, and 4 points for Adriana Rubio Perez. So we'll take a quick break and try to come back with a quick little interview with Sky Parker on the other side on DVC Vikings Live.
Hear that? Oh,
There you go. A little bit of technical difficulties, but we finished the night. So, Sky, it was the Tegan Gaines show all night long until you decided to steal the show. 22 points, a new career high. How does that feel?
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I can't even lie. I kind of lost count. I was just going through the motions. My adrenaline took over. I had to do what I do, just make layups, run down the court. I figured I'd use my speed against the team. I feel like I'm really conditioned, so I just want to keep running up and down the court, getting easy looks for my team as well.
Absolutely. I don't have official rebound stats, but that's got to be a double-double. And if that is another double-double, that's your 6th of the year.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh. I don't know anything.
There you go. You just play the game. You don't worry about the stats.
Not at all.
Honestly, it's been insane. I've seen a series of post moves inside, whether it be on the block or from about 12 feet out. It's just you going through 1, 2, 3 different looks before throwing up the shot. How does it feel to really be trained to get the situation going and understanding the repertoire that you have on hand to get these shots off?
I don't know. It's just an adrenaline thing. I go for one. It's not there. I go for the next. It's just kind of like I have moves in my head. I kind of go through the motions, and then I don't know. Half the time I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm just throwing it up. I'm like, all right, that's there, and it goes in. So.
Hey, don't say you don't know what you're doing. Say you're an instinctive player. You're instinctual.
Yeah, that's a good word. I like that. I'm instinctual, yeah.
So a new career high for Sky Parker and likely another double-double here. And that closes off her first half of a doubleheader. A brilliant victory for the Vikings, as I don't have the final score anymore, but the Vikings won by about 42 points.
Yeah.
And 22 of those points were scored off of the right arm and left arm of Sky Parker. Thanks for joining us, Sky.
Of course, thank you so much.
And that'll send us to our break here, so stay tuned. We'll be back on the other side with more basketball on the second half of our doubleheader here against American River College here on DVC Vikings Live.
swinging away and socks this to deep left field. That is gone! Bryson Horn.
Wortham pulls for the ball. It's a chest line snap. Hewitt's down the middle of the field. He's going to throw the goal run. Has it in the field. Intercepted. Intercepted, taking it down the far sideline. He steps out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage. And that's how you cap the game up. Jabril White called game on his third interception of the evening.
Sierra Smith quickly worked around, feeding the hot hand. Jasmine got it! 3 threes for number 23.
He finds Edwards. Edwards needs to get the shot up. Pulls up a deep three. Able to knock it down.
The counter-attack. Here comes Carla Ramos forward, looking for Noelle Lemus. She's gotten by the last defender. Bounty comes out. Noelle drills the keeper. Lemus. And that is a DVC victory. The Vikings are champions of California.
About 6 minutes remaining here in the intermission in between games. Vikings got the win. I'm not sure the final score. I forgot to write it down, but the first half, the Lady Vikings came out and they won by a margin of 42. So I don't think the final score really matters when you put up a margin like that. So Vikings get it done in the first half of the doubleheader, and now the 6-9 DVC Vikings, led under fourth year head coach Irv Anderson, coming to take the floor here at the DVC Palladium on Steve Coach Emilio Court. My name's Max Agrest, joined alongside Ryan Shell for the second half of this doubleheader. And let's talk about this team. So Vikings are 2-1 in Big 8 play after getting 2 straight wins against Folsom Lake College. That was 70-60, and then against Modesto last week, 73-56. The Vikings got off to a red-hot start, 10-0 run to get the game started. They played defense consistently. Every shot really helped build more momentum towards their lead. And, I mean, it's a tale of good defense on one side and a lot of missed field goals for Modesto. I mean, throughout the game, you could really see the impact on the scoreboard. And, Ryan, I'm going to pass it over to you for a second while I get this update here with Coach Irv Anderson.
Yeah, so DVC really looking into this game. A lot of this is about consistency, right? In the games that they play really well, they win. And in the games that they don't play really well, they lose. It sounds simple, but it really comes down to shooting. Typically, when they win games, they're shooting over 40% from the three-point line, and in their losses, they're shooting under 25. It's a big difference, and it causes a lot of offensive flow issues that DVC has to typically come out of the hole and come back into the game. So look to try and see if they could get off to a little bit of a hot start like they have in the games that they've won in the past.
Yeah, and had to fix up some of the stream issues. So if you're here, obviously you're in the right link. But if you see other people trying to get some help, please assist him in that company. But yeah, Ryan was talking just about, the perimeter defense is huge when the Vikings play well from beyond the arc. I mean, they typically do well, and that's exactly what they did. They held Modesto to only 6 3-point attempts. I mean, 3 for 6 from beyond the arc. When you're playing defense like that, it's hard to get stops. Or it's hard to come back into a game that you're falling behind. On the other side, it's a team that has only one victory in Big 8 play, and that was against Modesto as well. American River College, they come to this one 7-8, led by 19th year head coach Mark Giorgi. And I mean, this is a team that is pretty freaking dangerous. Yes, the record is sub 500, but this is a team that is coming off of a narrow loss against Sacramento City College. And Sac City, I mean, one of the top teams in the state right now at 14-1. ARC played extremely well, especially from beyond the arc. They ended up finishing the night with 13 three-point shots on 44% shooting. I mean, they were absolutely lighting up beyond the arc. And for a team that can struggle at times against perimeter defense, I mean, that's a matchup that ARC is definitely going to try to take advantage of tonight. And I mean, really, for Sacramento City College, they were struggling on almost every single aspect except for the fact that they got the rebounds and they played some physical brand of basketball. Listen to the stat. 43 free throw attempts for Sacramento City College to 17 of Sierra. I mean, when you're giving the opponent an extra plus 26 from the free throw line, it's insane that you're even in a game that's only a 4-point game.
Yeah, exactly. Their shooting kept them in it, and look for DVC to maybe take advantage of their defensive woes at times. They're more prone to fouls, and I know they want to shoot threes, but as a DVC Viking, you should want to still dribble in, get fouls, and get easy points at the free throw line.
Yeah, absolutely. And so kind of breaking down this team a little bit longer, 1, 2, and 3, Micah Johnston, Jay Burgess, and Ivan Soto. Those are the three guys that really get some pretty efficient scoring, all shooting above 46%. So those are the three that you really have to look out for. And then the outside shooting mainly comes from Jay Burgess, Ivan Soto, as well as number 31, that is, or I think I have the wrong number there. I believe it was 21, which is Nick Graves. So those three players are the ones that will get it done for Beyond the Arc. And you got to really look at some of these guys like Ivan Soto. Soto's a guy that can give you some points, averaging 10.9 points per game, but he's coming off a hot night, 31 points. Jay Burgess is coming off a 20-point night, and Nick Graves, their leading scorer, coming off a 15-point night. So these are three guys that are really coming in their own into Big 8 play. And I mean, this is a dangerous team. You cannot overlook them.
Yeah, exactly. The three-headed monster on offense, DVC really has to focus on maybe not necessarily getting the ball out of their hands all the time, but at least limiting their opportunities for easy shots and making them have to pass the ball when needed.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of team basketball played on the way of DVC, but DVC is trending in the right directions. They played some tough basketball the last 5 games plus. They've really improved on those numbers from outside perimeter shooting. I mean, as of right now, they're still in the bottom of the 3C2A and the bottom 80 out of the 100-plus teams in the 102 teams. But, I mean, that number is climbing up. They were in the bottom 5, bottom 10 for a while. So, I mean, the fact that they're digging up when it really matters in Big 8 play, it means a lot. And one last thing to note is the Vikings will have to really clean up the glass tonight. American River College, top 16 in the state in rebounds per game and defensive rebounds per game. So this is a team that won't give you many opportunities to really clean up the glass. They're going to really take advantage of that situation. And so with only a couple minutes left, we'll get starting lineups and we'll start them with you. Let's start with the Beavers of American River College. Starting at one guard, it's the freshman Micah Johnston. He's averaging 8.9 points per game, leading the team in assists with 3.8 assists per game. At another guard, it is number 2, Jay Burgess, the sophomore out of Las Pumas High School, only standing 5'8", but man, he can really score the basketball. I talked about it before. 20-point performance and nearly averaged 10 and 6 last year against the Vikings in the 2 games that they played. So Jay Burgess is definitely somebody that you got to look out for. At another guard, it'll be Ivan Soto, the freshman guard, averaging above 10 points per game as well. And man, walking bucket, 31 points in that last game. He's definitely going to try to ride some of that momentum and get his offensive game going early on. At another guard, it's Nick Graves, the 6'2" sophomore from El Dorado Hills. He's a transfer from Northwich College, a Division III program in Northfield, Vermont. And I mean, I think he came to this level to really prove himself. He's shown to be one of the best scorers on this team. And I mean, just really trying to show off and say, hey, I'm a better player than a D3 guy. Yes, I took that offer. He played a year over there, and now he's really just trying to prove his worth up here in Sacramento and throughout the Big 8. And last but not least, it's a forward, Colby Withrow Bass, leading rebounder of the team with 5.5 per games. And I mean, this guy's getting close to double-double territory every single game he plays. It's somebody that you have to look at for. It's a very good rebounding team as a team, and this is just, I mean, a very well put-together team. On the other side, the 5'10", 170 freshman from American Canyon, Kai Curry will be the point guard for the Vikings. He is leading the team in steals with 19, just a great athletic on-ball defender. Number 5, Lorenzo Pardo, the 5'10", 170 sophomore from Heritage, the second best scorer on the team for my recollection. I mean, he's really just got to step into his own game, take advantage of the outside shots he's getting, and really just stand on top of it. Ben Tejas, the leading scorer for the Vikings in the fifth scorer from Beyond the Arc and the 22nd scorer in the state from points per game. He's going to have a big factor into this game. Getting his first start, it's the 6'3", 185 sophomore from Broadman High School in Ohio. Oakland, California's own DJ Evans getting the start, more of a 3-and-D guy for the Vikings. And in the middle of the floor right now, it's Michael Wood. And he is the Vikings' leading rebounder with 6.1 points per game. He's got 2 double-doubles on the year, but man, he's just brought so much good activity throughout the last few games. Taking the middle of the floor, it's Withrow Bass going against Michael Wood. And from our perspective here on the other side of the sideline from our camera view, it'll be ARC working left to right. They'll be wearing their blue tops, blue bottoms with the white trim and the white numerals. And for the Vikings, they're wearing their home grays, gray tops, gray bottoms with the green numerals and the green trim running down the sides. And we're just about ready to get this thing tipped off here at Steve Coach Emilio Court at the Palladium. Michael Wood, Withrow Bass. Tip is up. And it is tipped all the way into the backcourt, and Kai Curry, the swift point guard for the Vikings, comes and retrieves it. And with 23 seconds left, the Vikings will have the first possession of the game. Lorenzo Pardo over to Curry, working inside of the left wing. Shovels to Pardo, open for a moment, doesn't elect to take the three. Soto's on him on defense. No look pass over to Ben Tejas, 7 seconds left. Tejas flying inside. Got caught, lost his dribble, but Tejas still found a way to get the basket to drop.
We've seen a lot of that backdoor cut action from Ben Tejas, especially using his shooting ability to kind of offset the defense, and right there he was able to convert on the little floater.
Driving the baseline, dropping it off across the lane. A nice assist from Burgess, and the first basket will be Kobe Withrow Bass. 19-10 remaining. Lorenzo Pardo, perimeter action for the Vikings here as Tejas hands it off to DJ Evans in his first start as a Viking. Right wing three-point shot curls out. Rebound tracked in by ARC. That was Pardo missing the three. Right wing attempt for ARC now as the flat shot's offensive rebound by Withrow Bass. He works inside, and the wild shot attempt, good defense by Michael Wood as the rebound's brought in by Tejas. Vikings wearing suits today as well. Head coach Irv Anderson and assistant coach Tan Connor. He was wearing a full tuxedo today, so I think he stripped off the jacket and is wearing a polo now, but don't mess with the juju. It worked once, continue that trend. Straight away three-point shot for DJ Evans. And an offensive rebound for the Vikes there. It's Kai Curry soaring to get that one. Trapped underneath the basket, pushed, and a double dribble. And a turnover on the Vikings. Michael Wood called for the turnover. Left side inbounds for Ivan Soto, and the Vikings are putting on a pressure here at the beginning of this game. Just a three-quarter court shell pressure as Withrow Bass is able to break the timeline. Burgess from the left wing, cross-court pass over the right wing. The extra pass now to the corner to Johnston. Soto cuts inside. Soto has this ball blocked, and an offensive foul before the block. Vikings force a turnover on the other side.
Really good defensive stretches between both teams, forcing turnovers on each side, and let's see if they keep up this intensity throughout the rest of the game.
And it will be Micah Johnston to pick up the first. Wait, pardon me, it's Ivan Soto picking up his first. If you see on the scoreboard, it's foul first and then number. It's Wood over to Curry, and this knotted up game at 2. First baskets dropped for both teams, but both teams been trying to find some momentum since then. And momentum is exactly what Lorenzo Pardo brings. 3 points from the outside shot in the corner as Pardo knocks down the triple. 6 seconds to break the timeline. Able to do so well is Nick Graves with the ball knocked away. It's a 2-on-1. Tejas straight to the hole, and Ben Tejas has 4 points in this early going.
Graves did something right there what no basketball player should do. They went into the coffin corner. He had nowhere to go because you can't go backwards, and it resulted in a turnover.
And the floater from inside the lane is true for Nick Graves, leading scorer at 13.8 points per game. Gets his first basket at the 17-minute mark. Yeah, that last play for ARC, it's almost like the quarterback sin. You can't throw late and behind you. Tejas jumping, finds his man from the left wing. DJ Evans, the 3-ball. Evans has been so good in recent games from that spot along the wing. Feels like he's almost shooting 50% from the right wing and the left wing. Soto with 18 seconds left. Over to Johnston. Now feeds Burgess. Burgess from the block and a travel. Vikings force another turnover as Elijah Keys comes into the game. And it looks like Moselle Wilson struggles to take off his warm-up jacket, but he'll come in for Lorenzo Pardo as well.
The Vikings did a really good job there, just collapsing the defense and not allowing ARC to get comfortable in the kick-out, and it led to one of their players shuffling their feet and causing the turnover.
We'll get your reset on the floor here as a late substitution for the Vikings. It's Vinny Hurtado, Mo Wilson alongside Ben Tejas, Elijah Keys, and DJ Evans. So smaller lineup for the Vikings here. And coming in is Evan Burgess for the first time as DJ Evans strokes away another 3-point shot. This one off the mark, 1 for 3 in this early going. Vikings still have the 6-point advantage though. 10-4 at the 16-minute mark here in this first half. Cutting to the hole is Johnston, turns around from the left side of the lane, and Micah Johnston, high arcing basket, makes it 10-6. Keys from the top of the key, over to Hurtado. Hurtado knocked down a buzzer beater at the end of the first half in the game against Modesto. So, I mean, Vinny's really been able to distribute the ball well this year, but his outside shooting, I mean, just his shooting in general really hasn't been his strong suit. So to see him confident to take a shot like that in that situation, nice development for the sophomore guard. Elijah Keys with 15 seconds. We'll defer back over to Vinny Hurtado, working between the circles, between the legs with the dribble now. Handoff. Ben Tejas with 10 seconds left, cutting inside of the paint. Ben Tejas gets 3 defenders to jump. Ball's knocked out of bounds, and that'll be last touch off Ben Tejas. I mean, he just dribbled into 4 different defenders in a difficult situation. Tried to use as much patience as possible. Got 2 of them to jump, but when there's 4 guys on you, 2 jump, and there's 2 more to stop you still. 27 seconds left, 5 seconds across the timeline. Ball handlers Evan Burgess as the Vikings back out. And they're man-to-man. Romeo Traylor comes to the game for the first time. And a cutting attempt by Micah Johnston as Moselle Wilson floats up high for the board. Mo Wilson over to the right wing. Romeo Traylor too strong. Off the fingertips of Keys and brought in by Graves. Open man in the quarter. Steps out of bounds, I believe. Yes, he did. We've seen this all year long. Evan Burgess thought the green was the out of bounds, but nope, it's the line before the green. A little bit of a home court advantage here, as it's good to see Marshawn Smith back in the game for the Vikings. Ben Tejas to the bench, and we'll take a second before we get to see Marshawn Smith because we'll get a timeout on the floor beforehand. 10-6 our score after about 5 minutes of play here in the first half of the second half of our doubleheader here on DVC Vikings Live. Back on the floor, we'll get you a reset of the lineup for ARC. It's Nick Graves joining Evan Burgess with Jay Burgess, no relation, Ivan Soto, Micah Johnston, and Kobe Withrow Bass. On the floor for the Vikings, it's Traylor, Moselle Wilson, Marshawn Smith coming in the game with Elijah Keys and Vinny Hurtado. Marshawn Smith gives it up. It's Vinny Hurtado spinning around the baseline. Traylor has the ball from outside of the wing. Now a mid-range jumper for Hurtado. Tipped up, kept alive. Moselle Wilson gets it off the tip. And a left wing 3. Hurtado, the triple. Hurtado's only an 18% three-point shooter, but we know he can knock down shots well beyond that mark. Just needs the opportunity, and when the Vikings are feeding him wide open, that's the perfect time to do so. Top of the key jumper curls out. Traylor with the two-handed grab. Vikings with a 13-6 advantage here at the 14-10 mark. Marshawn Smith bullies his way along the baseline. Throws it across the court, tipped away. Moselle Wilson fires from 3, left wing 3 off the mark. Mo Wilson, not much of a three-point shooter. I'm surprised he took that shot. Sub 10% in that category. And from the left wing, another three-point attempt, this time missed by Nick Graves, as Hurtado gets the board and sprints down the floor. Marshawn Smith pump fakes from the three-point line for just a moment. Taps his head to call the play. Crossover dribble, step back, mid-range jumper, left short. Cleared off the glass by Withrow Bass. Down the far side of the floor is Graves now. Bounce passes over to his big. And they'll start the set with Burgess from the right wing. Working his way to the top of the key. Finds a man rolling to the hoop. Terrific job. Nice nonverbal communication between Withrow Bass and his man making the assist there. And it's 13-8 now. 3 players at the scorer's table for the Vikings. So we'll see nearly half a line shift in a moment. Marshawn Smith working off the ankle injury. Moselle Wilson draws in some contact, but no call. And now Burgess sprints down the middle of the floor. Burgess gets his shot blocked by Marshawn Smith. And Marshawn Smith running down the near side of the floor. Red hot kicks for him once more. before deferring to Moselle Wilson between the circles to run a play. Shovels over to Smith. Hurtado, another three. Left short, Marsha on O-board. Now it's Moselle Wilson, the floater from 14 out. And Mo Wilson, a nice looking shot attempt there. 15-8. Johnston over to Graves. The deep ball, no go. Trailer with the board.
The Vikings have done a very good job at rebounding so far this game. They've been able to box out and even get some offensive boards on the other end, trying to pinpoint where the ball is landing.
And Elijah Keys, the turnaround, got his two defenders to move past him, and a very nice looking inside move for Elijah Keys. And now the Vikings will send the starting five to sit down in front of the scorer's table. We'll get a line shift at the next stoppage of play, most likely. Vikings with a 9-point advantage. No good on the three-point attempt is Jay Burgess, and this is, really fortuitous for the Vikings. This is a team that rebounds well. The Vikings are out-rebounding them at the current moment. The wild inbounds pass over to Keys, and Keys is fouled on the floor. But like I was talking about, this is a very good rebounding team in American River College, and they've been such a hot outside shooting team in the last few games. And so the Vikings are really taking advantage of the situation where they're not rebounding that well, and also they're not shooting that well from beyond the arc. So full line shift that the Vikings send back Kai Curry alongside Lorenzo Pardo, Michael Wood, Ben Tejas, and DJ Evans, starters back on the floor for the Vikes. And a lot of substitution for ARC as well as they get some fresh bodies in. Evan Burgess will stay in the game alongside Jay Burgess, no relation. First time we're seeing Artem Zakharov, the 6'8 center. And he's with Ivan Soto. And the last man is Makai Morris getting his first playing time. Kai Curry inbounds it over to Michael Wood. Wood dribbles. Wood goes inside, right-handed hook shot. Missed the shot. Got the O-board. Got the putback. That is all effort for Michael Wood there. Vikings open up a double-digit advantage. Diving to the ground. Tried to get the steal. The Vikings had another player trapped inside that coffin corner, as you said before, Ryan, but the Vikings unable to execute that time around. Had the steal opportunity, but Pardo dived out of bounds on that steal attempt. Looking for a screen. Makai Morris instead, rolling to the hoop. Ben Tejas falls to the ground. He wants a foul. No go. And now Soto from deep. Straightaway basket. And Soto, the 42% three-point shooter, you can't leave him open. He'll knock down those all day. DJ Evans, a deep three. DJ Evans! Another triple. 2 for 4 now, and that was slightly off his mark. Usually he likes the wings. That one was more of a straightaway.
The Vikings have been doing a great job of screening off the ball and getting wide open shots off of that. Their off-the-ball movement has been very precise tonight, and it's allowed a lot of open jump shots.
Spin moves, puts his defender in the blender, and the assist over to Jay Burgess to get his first points. A terrific job by Makai Morris there. It's a 9-point lead for the Vikes in this early going at the 10-20 mark. DJ Evans from the right wing, drives inside, underhand shovel over to Curry, and Curry with the hole in his compression sleeve on the left arm will shovel it over to Tejas. They left Tejas alone. Tejas, if you leave him alone, you'll pay the price. 7 points for Ben Tejas after the triple. Vikings open up the 12-point lead as once more. Man, I don't understand how you can really keep along with Tejas when he's just moving so quickly and efficiently off the ball. Just a blink of space, and Tejas finds an open three. And an open three-point attempt off a nice screen, and Soto off the mark there. 25-13 are a score at the 9:34-minute mark. Kai Curry between the legs. Over to Ben Tejas, and from the same spot, just a little off the mark there. High rebound swarmed by Zakharov.
Not a lot of pressure from American River College up top against DVC, and you could see DVC want to kind of push the pace and get into their offense and maybe get a mismatch going towards the offensive end for DVC.
2 different crossover moves for Jay Burgess, but he's off the mark on a shot attempt. Now the Vikings down the floor with Lorenzo Pardo. Running the baseline, drops it back over to Curry. Curry steps in, right wing extended, and Kai Curry He's not a three-point shooter, knows his spot, steps in, gets that 18-foot range. I mean, we've seen players make a career off that type of situation. And Lorenzo Pardo and company get the steal there. Lorenzo will be credited with the steal, however. And Ben Tejas swarms down the left side of the lane. Ball was poked out of his hands. Last touch off of Tejas. Man, Ben just really decisive there. Saw the lane open. He took the shot, but good recovery by American River to be able to knock that one off of Tejas.
Sometimes on those plays, you just kind of have to guess as a defender when there's no one really in front of the driving offensive player. You just have to hope that the swipe down makes contact with the ball.
And they did very well in that situation there. And the Vikings still have the double-digit advantage. 27-13 at the 8:30 mark. Corner left all alone. And that's Ivan Soto knocking down his second triple of the game. Missed the last attempt, and the Vikings will take a timeout here. A lot of open three-point shots have been missed by American River College, and that's one of the reasons why it's an 11-point game instead of much closer of a game. But the Vikings will try to fix some of their woes here on the defensive side of the ball on the other side of the break here on DVC Vikings Live. Back on the floor here at the 8:27-minute mark, and I was talking to Ryan during the break, and the Vikings haven't necessarily played the best defense here in this first half, and Ryan, take that away.
Yeah, American River College is missing a lot of open three-pointers, and as the Vikings, they will definitely take that, but it's definitely something to watch out for going throughout the game, as, you know, a team that's missing open shots can get hot in 1 second, especially a team like American River College with such great shooters.
And Ben Tejas misses the wide open shot. And now American River trying to answer with a shot that goes off the side of the backboard. Not a great look for Graves there. Shovels over to the corner, DJ Evans. And DJ Evans in his first start is hot. 3 3-pointers in this first 13 minutes of play for DJ Evans. And a nice assist on top of that for Kai Curry. Makai Morris over to Zakharov. Sets the screen to Zakharov as he returns the ball. 18-foot jumper. A very difficult look, and the Vikings made him pay for it. Hurtado over to Evans. Evans inside this time around. Dribbles down the baseline and had the ball knocked away. Marshawn Smith will return back into the game, replacing Vinny Hurtado, and Elijah Keys at the next whistle will do so as well. And it looks like they'll give him an opportunity to do so right now. DJ Evans off to a hot start. And the Vikings will elect to go with their too big look here with Keys and Wood. Stepping into a deep 2-point shot. And look at that. Michael Wood showing off his range, knocks it down from 18 feet out. 16-point advantage for the Vikings here. And it's Soto once more. And you make him shoot a contested shot. Not quite as efficient with the scoring there. Feed goes over to Keys. Cross-court pass, right wing. No good for Marshawn Smith. Oh, board attempt by Michael Wood, but it looks like he stepped out of bounds when he was flying through the sky to save that one. Micah Johnston, as well as Jay Burgess, Ivan Soto, with Nick Graves and Withrow Bass into the game for ARC. The starters are back on the floor for American River College. Ball thrown behind his intended receiver as Micah Johnston had to reach back, and a turnover by the way of Nick Graves here. And the Vikings trying to continue to build big on this very nice lead at the 6:30 mark here in this first half. Michael Wood over to Keys. Keys ball over the head, circles around, finds Tejas from the left wing. Entry pass over to Michael Wood, he's doubled. Curry from the left wing, not much of a three-point shooter. They have to dribble and feed inside again. Wood with 6 seconds left. Marshawn Smith, a capable three-point shooter, passes last second over to Wood. Wood uses all of the clock before finishing from the block. Michael Wood showing so much patience there.
Yeah, I was going to say really good two-man game right there. Even in the late clock, there wasn't a sense of worry. They were able to effectively run the play and score the layup.
Absolutely, and with the guy that's missed the last couple games in Marshawn Smith, I mean, it's good to see him not really trying to rush anything. Usually after missing a few games, coming off such a little bit of a hard injury, I mean, you typically don't really execute well in those situations, and that says a lot about Marshawn. Substitution as Wood comes out, gets a breather. Romeo Traylor, who's played some good minutes tonight, comes back into the game for the Vikes. Inbounds passed, left a wide open Johnston, and the Vikings fortuitous once more with the shot, as ARC has not had a good shooting night up to this point. No look pass over to Keys. Marshawn Smith with the assist. Elijah Keys puts it in. 4 points for Keys as the Vikings open up a 20-point lead at the 5:45-minute mark. Nick Graves from the left wing. Johnston, now Graves. Reset, it's a two-man game between the two. And Elijah Keys forced a missed shot at the last possible second. Traylor falls to the ground and gets the rebound. You call him chaos for a reason. Keys on the other side. Nice duck under, and Elijah Keys with back-to-back baskets for the Vikes. 38-16. It's Burgess from the right wing now. 21 seconds left. The feed over is big, and Withrow Bass. And a nice looking attempt to a cutting Johnson. And that shot's been there for the majority of the game for Johnson. He just missed these opportunities. But Johnston, man, he's really giving you some quality minutes despite the fact that he's just missing. Still a 20-point lead for the Vikes here as Benteas fires away the straightaway three-point shot. And Ben's in double figures now as he gets to the 10-point mark after his second three-point shot. 41-18. Over the corner now is Burgess. He scans the floor. Fakes the pass before swinging over to Johnston. Johnston to the hole once more. Johnston with the nice step around. 6 points on back-to-back baskets for Micah Johnston.
Right there is kind of the dangerous part. Marshawn Smith went for the steal, and it eventually led to a offensive attack that was lopsided, and they got the layup.
And Marshawn Smith called for the ball, cleared two different defenders off of him, and another assist from Marshawn Smith over to Elijah Keys.
Marshawn Smith today being a really good facilitator, using his athleticism and burst to kind of draw the defense.
And you can see the play perfectly. He saw the mismatch as the ball slowly curls in for Nick Graves on the other side. But yeah, going back to Marshawn, I think he's just got to change his game up a little bit. Usually he's a high flyer, uses all that athleticism to get himself open looks. But yeah, with the ankle injury, he's just changing up his game a bit. Three-point shot on the straightaway attempt. And good inside positioning to get the rebound is Nick Graves. Burgess at the 3:30 mark here this first half. Vikings with the 21-point advantage. Looked to take the three was Withrow Bass, but decided against it. Jay Burgess swings it to the right wing. It's Nick Graves cutting to the hole, 6 seconds left. Tried to do that little cut move that we see a lot from Benteas. I call it the Statue of Liberty. It's that no-look layup. And now Marshawn Smith, another assist to Keys. Keys got 10 points, and I mean, Marshawn Smith, man, that's his 4th assist of the first half already, and 3 of them have gone to Keys. And with that, it'll send us to another timeout inside of 3 minutes to play. 45-22. It's the Marshawn Smith and Elijah Keys show in the first half here on DVC Vikings Live. Back here on the floor with 3 minutes remaining here in the first half. And something to note as well, Colby Withrow Bass, he's had some good opportunities here in this game, but he's sitting all alone at the end of the ARC bench. A little in his feelings right now, so it'll be interesting to see how ARC comes back without one of their starting players. Vikings put on a huge advantage here, 23-point lead at the 3-minute mark here. And really, it's been the Vikings have played good defense, but more than anything, it's just ARC missing some good-looking shots. I mean, at this situation, you'll take it. You'll build that momentum. You'll start playing better defense. The offensive game has been flying for the Vikings tonight. That'll be Soto over to Burgess, and Jay Burgess knocks down the triple. Burgess with 5 points, and it's back to a 20-point game. DJ Evans, 15-foot jumper from the baseline. Don't see him take too many inside shots, mainly a 3-and-D guy. I mean, had a good-looking opportunity, just left it short. Jay Burgess inside to a cutting man, and that was Alec Dennett who checks in the game for the first time, and he'll earn a trip to the free throw line. Believe it or not, that's only the second foul. This has been a very clean game.
DVC right there, they are still trying to play a little bit pressure defense. As we know, American River College can hit threes, but right there is how you adjust to it if you're American River College, is finding opportunities to backdoor cut, and especially in the middle of the lane because they're so spaced out, there's a whole lot of space to be taken up by a cut, and right there, defense was behind, they drew a foul.
Alec Dennett to the free throw line, made the first free throw, and we'll get you a reset of the lineup in just a moment. Dennett airballs the second attempt, though. First one looked good, but just off the mark on the second. Yeah, it's interesting to see what ARC is really doing here. Dennett's not a guy that's really shown up too much in the scouting report. Only 10 field goal attempts on the year. But I think you just got to mix and match here when you're in this hole early on in the game. Michael Wood, straightaway three. Michael Wood! Talked about showing off the range in the 18-footer. Knocks down the triple there. Wood, his third three-point shot of the year. Vikings with the 22-point advantage. Under 2 minutes to play here in the first half. It's just been a terrific offensive showing from the Vikes in this early going. Straightaway three once more, and back-to-back triples by Jay Burgess. 19-point advantage for the Vikings. Here's ARC cutting down into that lead just a little bit. 1:37 remaining. Left-handed dribble as Pardo works down the left side of the lane. Spins back around, back over to Wood. Loses the handle. And now Hurtado works with 10 seconds. Over to the corner. The triple. The three is knocked in by Pardo. Second three-point shot of the evening. Both of them from that same left corner as well. Vikings swarming on defense here. Having to resort to getting the ball over to Soto. And then Soto drives down the left side of the lane. And a nice scoop shot by Soto there. He's got 8 points now. And Moza Wilson pushes the break. Fitting Hurtado. Happy he didn't turn the ball over as it went off his fingertips. And now DJ Evans from the left wing kicks out to the corner. And the center for DVC knocks down his second three. 12 points for Mr. Wood. 100% from beyond the arc, 2 for 2. Vikings with the 23-point advantage now. Under 30 seconds to play. The cutting man to the hole was Nick Graves, but Graves off the mark. And now the Vikings a transition three. Lorenzo Pardo unable to get that shot to drop. And now another opportunity to score when the Vikings could have possibly ran out the rest. Nick Graves with 10 seconds left. Bounce pass over to Alec Dennett. Works between the circles. Gets a screen. Vinny Hurtado plays some good defense. A bounce pass over the right wing. And Soto spins around, takes a contested shot. And didn't even get it off in time. Terrific closing minutes for the Vikings here. And the Vikings have a 23-point advantage after the first 20 minutes of play. 54-31 Vikings getting it done here early on. Let's get you some of the stats here. We'll start off with ARC. Johnston has 6. Jay Burgess has 9. Ivan Soto with 8. Alec Dennett with 1 point. 4 points for Nick Graves and 4 points for Colby Withrow Bass. A lot of the success for ARC has been off some assists and some nice ball handling. So I really expect the game plan to be less ISO ball and more just finding the cutting man, because they've had opportunities to knock down shots when that happened for the Beavers. And on the other side, Marshawn Smith held without points, but man, a lot of setups there. His plus minus must be insane right now. He's got 4 assists for 8 points off of the hands of Keys there. Kai Curry's got 2 points. Mo Wilson's got 2. 6 points for Lorenzo Pardo, knocking down 2 3-point shots from the left corner. Ben Tejas with 10 points. 3 points for Vinny Hurtado. Michael Wood, man. 12 points, but 6 of them coming from beyond the arc. I mean, that's not really what you expect from your center. DJ Evans getting his first start. He's got 9 points with 3 made 3-point shots, and Elijah Keys into double figures early on in this game with 10 points off some beautiful assists from Marshawn Smith. So, Ryan, what did the Vikings do well in this first half, and what do they got to keep doing here going into the second?
Well, I would say they're shooting, like you said, like especially from Michael Wood, and when you have a big that can space the floor like that, it makes it so hard to defend because there's just so much area to be filled, and there's so many open looks that come off of that. And then defensively, although they're giving up some open looks, as they're good shooters with American River College, they're going to shoot threes. They're doing an amazing job on the boards, and for a bigger team, not letting them necessarily dictate the rebounding matchup.
Yeah, the Vikings have dominated in the rebounding department, and I mean, that's all you can really ask for at the end of the day. The Vikings have been an okay rebounding team this year, 71st, so in the bottom third. I mean, I guess that's sub-okay in that situation, but I mean, they're getting it done tonight, and they're building momentum going into the future, and I mean, preseason is only the preseason. It really matters once you get into league play, and the Vikings have really turned the switch here in league play. The only game they've lost is against Sacramento City College, but I mean, a dominant victory last time around and a dominant start to the first 20 minutes of play here at Steve Coach Emilio Court at the DVC Palladium as we send it to our halftime break here on DVC Vikings Live. About 2 minutes and 13 seconds left at our halftime break. And we'll break it down just a little bit at some of the action that was going on. The Vikings took the advantage at the beginning, and they did not let it up. After they got that 10-point advantage, there was a quick moment where Heresy got a flash in the pan, cut it down to single digits once more. But since that point, it's been Vikings and only Vikings. 54-31 at the halftime break. 2 minutes away from the start here. And Ryan, I mean, ARC's played some good basketball, but the shots just haven't been flowing. What do they have to do to adjust in the second half?
I think a lot of it is just like they're getting good looks. I think they have to focus more on offsetting DVC's pressure. You saw it a little bit where they had a few good backdoor cuts that led to fouls, but really just focusing on using DVC's over-aggressiveness to their advantage, maybe even drawing more fouls. There's only 4 fouls in the first half.
And on the other side, I mean, the offense has been flowing, and part of that was because of the gravity that Marshawn Smith brings to the floor. He didn't play in the game against Feather River or Modesto, but in his first game back after that ankle injury last time we saw him, man, Marshawn has just been so effective. He has so much gravity pulling other players to him, and instead of going up for the two-handed jam that we've seen in the past, he's distributing, Keys is eating, the flow of the game is really just moving along like a river, and man, I'm loving this identity that the Vikings are putting out on offense tonight.
Yeah, Marshawn's just one of the most important positions in basketball is like a connector. And what he's doing tonight is connecting. He's able to make plays off of defensive rotations that may have been a lapse, and instead of forcing up a more difficult shot, he is using his athleticism that he has in order to open up things for his teammates, and that's just creating good looks for DVC. And you know, when you do that, it's contagious. So then everybody starts making the extra pass, and DVC's hitting shots, and it helps.
Good vibration spread, and that's exactly what's happened in the first half for the DVC Vikings as they go into the second half with a 23-point advantage. I mean, the suits are rocking tonight for the coaches, riding off that good juju. DJ Evans got plugged into the starting lineup for the first time. And let's not forget, guys, we're doing this without one of the best players on the team for the Vikings with Cole Webster. Webster's still out. So the Vikings got a lot to ask for. And talking to Cole Webster before the game, it looks like he might be coming back in this one against San Joaquin Delta on Friday. So you'll definitely have to tune in here on DVC Vikings Live for some of the action. As we take the middle of the floor, good to see Withrow Bass back into the game for ARC. He had a little bit of a moment where he was sitting by himself at the end of the bench, so got the attitude right and nearly has it tipped away on the inbounds pass. So it's Johnston alongside Burgess, Soto with Withrow Bass, Graves, and in Burgess, I think I said everybody. That's the starting five back on the floor for ARC, and a strong cut to the hoop. And a foul in the process. It'll be the first foul called against Tejas tonight. Only 4 fouls caught in the first half. And Nick Graves will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. For the Vikings starting out the second half, they'll bring out their starters once more. And as Lorenzo Pardo, Kai Curry, Ben Tejas, who was just called for that foul, as the first free throw is up and in for Nick Graves. He's got 5 points. Last 2 players on the floor. The center, Michael Wood. I mean, he's already shown off his range tonight, an 18-footer and 2 3-point shots as the second free throw curls out for Nick Graves. And the last man on the floor, we talked about it, making his first start for the Vikings, DJ Evans. Vikings ping-ponging between Pardo and Curry. Man falls on the floor, no foul called on the play. Right wing 3-point shot attempt. Strong offensive rebound by Wood off a missed 3. Now Pardo a straightaway 3. Pardo, 3 3-point shots in this game. And Wood has been so good. He was our player of the game last time around, and he's getting into that territory once more. Cross-court pass, the extra pass over to the corner, and Graves jumps him, throws it across the floor, and a flat shot off the heel of the iron. Cleared over by Michael Wood, and now a 3-point attempt. Ben Tejas knocked down the last 3 shots, I should say, were 3-point shots knocked down. And this is so good when the Vikings really just don't have to rely on Tejas. Tejas averaging 19 points per game, but the Vikings are at their best when everybody is scoring and everybody's contributing. And that's exactly what's going on tonight as the Vikings have this 60-32 point advantage. Micah Johnston Out. Back into the game, Mekhi Morris. Morris, no points, but man, he was showing some really great ability to facilitate the ball in the first half. Graves steps back. 3-point shot. Feeling himself there. Graves now with 8 points. Tying up a few leading scorers in Burgess and Soto with 8 now. Spins it around, and Tejas everything but the basket. Cleaning the glass with Nick Graves. And the Vikings are not electing to put that three-quarter court pressure that we saw in the first half on once more. Nice post move inside, and Morris will draw the second foul against Lorenzo Pardo, sending the sophomore guard to the free throw line.
Not a lot of fouls in the first half of this game, but as we see here, what we kind of talked about coming in out of the halftime break was American River College needed to probably try and get more points towards the basket. And one of the good things about getting to the free throw line is it stops the clock. So when you're down in a game, to try and make up time and points, stopping the clock, getting some free throws, hopefully hitting them is ideal.
Yeah, Mekhi Morris, not necessarily the guy that you want at the line, only a 50% free throw shooter. As we can see, misses both of the free throws, nearly has the ball stolen away, but Kai Curry, quick hands, able to get it back. Curry, flash down the floor. And now Curry gets the return, the assist, and sending Michael Wood to the free throw line. The foul on the floor goes against Nick Graves, picking up his first. And it's Michael Wood going to the stripe. I mean, he shot it from every single point on the floor tonight. And now, off the mark from 15 feet out. Misses the first free throw. Second free throw, short once more, but an offensive rebound brought in by Wood. So, I mean, it's okay. If you miss both the free throws and you get your own board, you buy yourself some time. The pass over to DJ Evans is stolen away. And it's Mekhi Morris springing it free. Left wing three-point shot attempt from Graves, no good. It'll be Withrow Bass called for the foul. Absolutely just threw down Michael Wood onto the ground, picking up his first.
Wood really active today. We've mentioned his name a lot for scoring, but on the defensive end, especially defensive rebounding, he's been super active, been able to box out the big men for American River College.
And nearly a steal for Mekhi Morris as Kai Curry crossed the timeline. The ball was knocked away and last touched off of the arm of Morris. But yeah, Wood has been giving such quality minutes in the last few games. I mean, both of the bigs for the Vikings, really. Keys hasn't played in the second half so far, but he's got 10 points. And then this Vikings team, despite being a smaller team, I mean, just really showing all effort tonight. Right wing three-point shot was missed by Tejas, followed up with an offensive rebound by Curry, and Curry's got 4 points now in the putback. DJ Evans trying to poke the ball away. Miscommunication as the Vikings left a man open. ARC unable to capitalize on the situation. Graves losing the handle, out of bounds. Good defense from Pardo, and the Vikings get a stop. Curry after the trigger from Wood. And now Tejas from the hash mark. We'll work the offensive set. Reach in once more. Second foul against Withrow Bass. And now Graves will come out. In comes Evan Burgess to replace him. And it looks like Withrow Bass will come out as well as Zakharov comes back into the game. Vikings with the starter still on the floor, ready to trigger away from the left baseline. It's Kai Curry standing on the K of the Vikings baseline logo. Trying to find an open man. Ben Tejas is that man as he goes straight to the hole, leaves it short, trying to get his own offensive rebound. Ball bounced right back into his stomach, but unable to get the putback. Tejas hasn't had much success inside of the post today. I mean, every opportunity, but couldn't get those shots to drop. The spin cycle, losing the ball, throws it out to the left wing. It's Morris assisting to Burgess, but Burgess unable to find the bottom of the net from the three. Ben Tejas behind the back with the dribble. Inside of the paint once more, right-handed shot and one. No, they're gonna call an offensive foul against Tejas. Wait, let's see the situation. From what I saw from the official, they said it was an offensive foul, but they're lining up at the free throw line, and I think it will be a good basket. So yes, Tejas with his 15th point, an opportunity to cross the tee on a three-point play. And the Vikings send in a line shift pending the last free throw from Tejas here. We'll get you that update in just a moment. Free throw is true. Tejas now with 16 points. Good to see the official get the call right. Marshawn Smith comes back into the game alongside Vinny Hurtado, Elijah Keys, Romeo Traylor, and Mo Wilson. I mean, it's always crazy for me to see a team do a full line shift. You just don't see it unless it's hockey. And the Vikings have really had faith in so many different players. And we've seen up to 13, 14 different players for this team play, and you're seeing full 5-unit shifts, or 5-man shifts. It's just insane. The back cut for Burgess, setting up an open Burgess as well. That's Jay Burgess that time, and he misses it. Marshawn Smith, no points to his name tonight, but plenty of assists to go alongside with that. 15:35 remaining here. Vikings having the 30-point advantage here. They build a huge advantage at the halftime break, and they're continuing to build on top of that. Mo Wilson to Hurtado. Now Marshawn Smith with 4 seconds left. Smith pressured. Vinny Hurtado needs to get the shot off. Unable to do so. Great 30 seconds of defense for ARC, forcing the violation.
A little bit of miscommunication there from DVC. They didn't really look at the clock on that possession. We're trying to still run a set, and by the time they looked up, it was too late.
Still a 30-point advantage there. And at the 15-11 mark, it'll be Morris. Now to Zakharov. Morris from the right wing. Steps into a three-point shot. Strong offensive board by Zakharov as he defers back over to Jay Burgess now. Jay Burgess with the crossover. The 17-foot jump. And Elijah Keys with the rebound. Marshawn Smith pump fakes from the left wing. Eyes over to Traylor. Traylor backs his way inside. Traylor quick dribble. Finds Mo Wilson. Doesn't take the three. Instead, cuts to the hole from the low block left. Is fouled. Mo Wilson knows his looks. Didn't take the three. Instead, cleared some space. And that is the first foul against Makai Morris.
Really good adjustment there by Mo Wilson. In the first half, he had taken a three and a little bit of a delayed transition set, and right there he definitely had an opportunity to take one, but he does know his limits, and what he does best is his burst of speed going towards the hoop, and was able to get fouled off that.
Yeah, the game personality that I can really say his offensive game kind of supports is actually funny enough. Gary Payton II. I mean, GP2 for the Warriors is the little big man, and that's kind of the role that he's played for this team so far. He facilitates the ball well, he plays some good defense, and really he dominates on those back cuts and really opening up some of the space inside the paint. Funny enough to see for a 5'11" player. And now a timeout taken by ARC after the two made free throws from Mo Wilson. So that'll send us to a break at the 14:24 minute mark here on DVC Vikings Live. Remember, folks, the 10th annual poker tournament is coming up on February 3rd. That's at the HSF building. Come in at $10, $40, all you can eat and drink, obviously 21 and plus. $20 rebuys and $75 to play. Go to eventbrite.com and search DVC Poker. A lot of fun with some of your favorite people here on the DVC campus. An interesting thing to see, head coach Mark Giorgi for American River College, the longtime head coach, spent the majority of the time out talking to the officials. Let his assistant coaches run that timeout and really just jockeyed for some attention for that official. Same players out on the floor. It'll be Mekhi Morris to inbound. Over to Jay Burgess. Jay Burgess slashing down to the block. Passes it over to Evan Burgess. And now Zakharov. Jay Burgess. Marshawn Smith defending him. And a very tough jumper. That was a nice looking shot there. And now he's into double digits. Or I believe he's into double digits with 10 points now. I believe that is the first Beaver in double digits tonight as the Vikings still hold on to a 30-point advantage. Mo Wilson with 14 seconds left. Right wing three-point shot off the mark. Marshawn Smith couldn't find it from three. Mekhi Morris, transition three-point shot missed. And another rebound by Marshawn Smith. It's been everything except scoring tonight for Marshawn. Just happy to see him back on the floor. Romeo Traylor nearly didn't look at that ball. Lucky he got it back. 13:25 remaining. Vikings using a ton of clock here as essentially they're in a 4-minute offense in football in this situation. And now the first bucket for Marshawn Smith will come from 12 feet out. Just drifted inside of the lane and said, hey, look, I'm open. 69-37, 13:05 remaining. Crossover for Jay Burgess, and Jay Burgess from the low block left, now 12 points.
Burgess has been the one guy for American River College that has kind of hit these tough shots and has kind of been able to carry them a little bit in the scoring department offensively.
Yeah, absolutely. The last 6 points, I believe, have been scored by Burgess. And now from the right elbow, Marshawn Smith passes to Vinny Hurtado. No go on the three, though. And Zakharov coming in, the reserve big, has really given them some quality minutes from the rebounding department. And now a diving attempt by Mekhi Morris. Threw way too much English at that ball as it spun off the glass. Marshawn backs his way inside, trapped inside the baseline, tries to throw it back over to Keys. Hurtado got it after the errant pass. And we'll call that an assist anyways. Marshawn Smith really distributing well as Vinny Hurtado gets the bucket to go. 5 points now for Vinny. A steal by the Vikings. It's Traylor. Traylor throws underneath the basket. Last touched off of a Beaver player. And substitutions for the Beavers now as the Vikings ready to inbound it from the left side of the baseline. So it'll be Nick Graves alongside Alec Dennett. He's joined with another player that's Neo Vuki coming in the first time, the big for American River College. And the last people on the floor, Jay Burgess and Evan Burgess. Moselle Wilson from the left wing, three-point shot missed. Good inside positioning for Graves getting the board. Behind the back with the dribble, now through the legs, Jay Burgess trying to heat up. And a heat check, deep two-point shot as Romeo Traylor falls to the ground on his rear end. And the shot clock was very late to reset, so the Vikings very fortunate there. Able to cross the timeline. I believe that almost would have been a 10-second violation if the shot clock had reset quicker. Vinny Hurtado, good movement off the ball. 18-foot jumper from the short right wing, no go. Evan Burgess collecting it. And Evan Burgess inside with the left-handed hook. And the foul in the process. First foul going against Elijah Keys there. It'll send Burgess to the free throw line. That's Evan Burgess, the 25% free throw shooter.
Burgess right there was able to throw a pretty nasty hesitation, and it got the defense to freeze just a second, got them off balance, and was able to take the angle for the foul on the layup.
And the first free throw, left short. Full line shift once more as the starters come back on the floor. Michael Wood, DJ Evans, Kai Curry, Lorenzo Pardo, and Ben Tejas on the floor for the Vikes. And a replacement here as Ivan Soto comes back into the game for ARC. He'll be replacing Jay Burgess. Second free throw from Evan Burgess in, so he splits the pair and he gets his first point of the game. At the 11-13 minute mark, it's Ben Tejas back into the game for the Vikes. Kai Curry from the left wing, feeding his big inside. Michael Wood clearing some space on the other freshman. And Wood from three. Off the mark now, 2 for 3 on the night. Ball still alive, and the Vikings retain the possession there. Bente between the circles. It's defended by Evan Burgess. Over to Wood. Wood jump steps inside. Now to Kai Curry. DJ Evans for three. No good. High flying was Vuki to bring in the board. 31-point advantage for the Vikes here at the 10:30 mark. Slow dribble down the left side of the wing. Bounce pass to Dennett. Alec Dennett has the ball poked away. Ball stays with the Vikings now. It's almost stayed with ARC, and the Vikings got the steal. And Benteas from the corner. He missed the shot, and I think a late foul on the floor. I don't know what was going on in that situation, actually. Do you?
It might have been a reset of the shot clock because it didn't hit the rim.
Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head there. Tejas got the steal, ran down the floor, and missed it pretty badly, and then, yeah. So the play clock will reset to 25 seconds, and an inbounds pass will go over to Lorenzo Pardo. Right wing attempt for Tejas. It looked off the mark, just coming out of his hands. Tejas with 16 points is the leading scorer for the Vikings. But it's been a well-balanced attack from the Vikes tonight. Evan Burgess will handle from the right wing now. 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Goes down the baseline. Travels into traffic and gets the contact to the free throw line once more. Very clean first half. Only 4 fouls between the two teams, 2 apiece, but a little more physical, a little more of the pace that we're used to seeing here in the second half. Still only 9 fouls combined, 5 on ARC, 4 on the Vikings here at the 9:49-minute mark, so don't have much complaints about that.
Even though that play ended up in a foul, one thing I noticed on the pick and rolls when DVC is guarding American River College, they're doing a really good job of stepping out and hedging a little bit. And you saw it even right there. They rejected the screen and went into the lane. Now he drove into traffic and drew a foul. But the idea is if you drive into 3 people with 1 person, especially at Burgess's size, it's a win for the defense.
Burgess only a 5'9" sophomore guard out of Oroville High School. So yes, a lot of size advantage for the Vikings in that situation. You got that one right. Left wing attempt from Pardo. Long rebound will stay with the Vikings. I mean, just the first step quickness from Kai Curry. I mean, I want to see him at slot receiver, man. He can clear some major space. Tejas with the highly contested 3 and 1. Graves draped all over Ben Tejas, and Ben doesn't even care. Stone cold with the triple, and now an opportunity to get to 20 points now from Tejas.
It's just that kind of night for the Vikings. Everything that they seem to put up is at least a good look, and it's typically going in.
Best free throw shooter for the Vikings. Up and in. Ben Tejas, 20 points. Man, I used to keep track of how many 20-point games Ben Tejas has, but when he's nearly averaging 20 a game, I mean, you stop to lose track. He's upwards of 10, I'll tell you that. Great defense from the Vikings, but an open look now from Evan Burgess. Rattles all around, touches every part of the hoop before exiting left. Curry one-on-one. The scoop shot off the glass. Traylor keeps the ball alive. Great O-board for Traylor. Goes up, doesn't get the ball to drop, though. And wanted a foul, but unable to get so. Wild pass, nearly tipped out of bounds off the fingertips of Pardo. Hectic little sequence on that last play there. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. His nickname is Chaos for a reason. Whenever Romeo's on the floor, it just seems like he brings this frantic energy that really throws other teams out of their rhythm. And a nice play on the ball for Michael Wood as he picks up the steal. Lorenzo Pardo running the set from the wing. It's Kai Curry. Kai to Michael. Michael Wood will defer back over to Tejas. Kai Curry pulls up from the right wing, or pardon me, from the right elbow. And Graves was there to pick it up after the miss. 8:16 remaining here in this second half of play. Ivan Soto strokes the triple. Soto, a 42% three-point shooter. He hit a wide open shot in the first half, but has been quiet up to that point. And it's back to a 30-point game here, 75-45. Michael Wood from the left elbow now. Michael Wood answers the call. 14 for Wood. Vikings putting on this three-quarter court pressure. It's really caused a lot of trouble for ARC in this game. Inbounds pass to Alec Dennett. And Dennett was left alone until the last possible second. He's got 4 points now after he breaks the Vikings defense. .23 remaining here in the second quarter, or second half, I should say. And Lorenzo Pardo unable to find the outside range here. Nick Graves, straightaway three. And Nick's into double digits now. He's got 11 points, leading scorer for the Beavers at 13.8 per game. The D3 transfer from Norwich College, I should say. And it's down to 27 now. Kai Curry slips onto the ground, needs to call a timeout. And will do so. That time it will give an opportunity for us to take a breath as well. 27-point lead, 77-50 here at the 6:44 mark on DVC Vikings Live. .44 remaining here in the 77-50 point game. Vikings just a dominating 24 minutes of play so far. 34, I should say. Inside of the last 7 minutes of play here as we clean up a wet spot on the floor. And a little bit of a different setup now as DJ Evans will come to the floor with Marshawn Smith, Moselle Wilson, Vinny Hurtado, and Elijah Keys. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Moselle Wilson, I don't know if he knows it. Marshawn Smith has the ball. Free throw line, and the Vikings will turn it over once more. There's a second 30-second violation on the Vikes there. Just not very situationally aware in that situation. And you can hear the coaches yelling at their players. I love the energy that the Vikings staff brings. It doesn't matter if you're down 20 or up 20, they're going to bring every single bit of intensity. Cutting the hole, everything but the basket. That was Ivan Burgess, and the Vikings turned it over after a rebound from Marshawn Smith. Now a 16-foot straightaway jumper, offensive rebound, the shove into the back of Woodrow Bass. And Moselle Wilson will likely pick up the foul. That'll be the first on the push against Moselle Wilson, the fifth on the Vikings, and it'll give the 60% free throw shooter in Kobe Withrow Bass, I should say, the opportunity to go to the line.
It's kind of interesting to see how the different big men for American River College have kind of changed the way they play. I've noticed that, like, with Withrow Bass, he's a lot more active defensively and offensively. Like, he's able to move, you have to really box him out. But then someone like Zakharov, he's more of a imposing presence. Like, he's very big and towering, and his wingspan, that it kind of gives you a different look defensively and offensively, how you have to adjust to them being at the center position. Yeah, Withrow Bass only about 6'5", I would say, compared to the 6'8" of Zakharov. But yes, playing styles are absolutely up to that point. And a nice swat away by Withrow Bass as they tried the entry pass into Keys. 10 seconds left. Vikings need to get their offense going right now. Right wing three-point shot. DJ Evans unable to get the shot to drop. Offensive rebound by Keys, and Keys works his way inside. Touched every part of the net, missed the shot. Offensive rebound by the Vikings. Third opportunity there, and finally a basket inside for DJ Evans. 11 points for DJ Evans. That ties his career high with the Vikings here. Had 11 points against Folsom Lake College. And on the other side of the basket, collecting it inside of the block. And the first basket now for Evan Burgess. He's had 3 points up to this point, all from the free throw line. Bounce pass over to Elijah Keys, and Keys was blocked at the top, but too much body contact. That'll be second against Withrow Bass. Sixth foul on ARC as well. The seventh. So this is a shooting foul, so it won't be a 1-and-1, but up to this point now, every foul will be a 1-and-1 up to 10. Keys did a really good job there fighting for post position. He got to the inside of the defender, and with a relatively solid entry pass, the defender was put at a disadvantage and forced to foul Keys or else give up a wide open layup at the block shot.
Yeah, I'm surprised Keys actually didn't go up for the slam there. You know he can dunk there at his size, but just elected to go with the free throw and or the layup and misses the first free throw. Second free throw rattles in for Keys though. He's been so good from the line as of late. 11 points now for Elijah. Ball's knocked off of the hands of Mekhi Morris, and he nearly falls into our table here. Vikings force the turnover. 80-54 at the 5:07 mark. And I think the officials were talking about the shot clock, and it is correct here. Moselle Wilson will walk it up the floor. Under 5 minutes to play here in the second half of our doubleheader. First win, the Vikings won by 42, I believe. And in the second one, the Vikings men team with a large lead as well. Extra pass over to the left wing, DJ Evans unable to find the mark. High contorting rebound, man. Marshawn Smith turns the ball over, but he's been terrific tonight with the ball movement and the effort. It's Woodrow Bass trying to go across the floor, slaps the ground as he's late on the defensive rotation now. Mo Wilson from the block, back over to the right wing. DJ Evans, didn't get the basket to go. Board, and Marshawn says, hey, I'll take it. Both of Marshawn's baskets tonight have been, just great opportunities at the hoop. He's just taking the wide open shots. Diving to the hole was Mekhi Morris as he was off the mark, but to the free throw line for ARC. Sixth foul on the Vikings here as Elijah Keys picks up his second. And Mekhi Morris missed his first two free throw attempts of the game and is able to nail down the third. That's his first points. Or his first point, I should say, not plural. Substitution here as Woodrow Bass comes out. Artem Zakharov back into the game, the 6'8" sophomore. Second free throw. Finds the bottom of the net as well. 2 for 4 is Mekhi Morris from the line. 26-point advantage for the Vikes. Under 4 minutes to play. Moselle Wilson with the crossover. Feeds over to Keys, and now Evans slashes. Pops up for a mid-range jumper. And from 18 feet out, a new career high with the Vikings here. DJ Evans, 13 points. Straightaway triple. Morris leaves it short. Out of bounds. Substitution here as Jay Burgess comes in relief of Nick Graves. And the Vikings will keep that same 5 on the floor. Vikings got to be content to really run this one out, but from the voice I hear over the headset, Herb Anderson saying go, he wants his team to keep scoring. Entry pass was a tough one, but Elijah Keys cleans it up, and he's got 13. Back to a 30-point advantage. The first half, it was a lot of missed shots by ARC, but in the second half, it's been great defense by the Vikings there. Aside from a few different shots, nearly every single shot that the Beavers taken has been just heavily contested. DJ Evans, straightaway triple. And I was already thinking about it before this game, seeing him get his first start, but he'll likely be our player of the game, and we'll get an interview with DJ Evans after this one. Baseline jumper, off the mark once more. Evan Burgess hasn't had a very successful night offensively so far. Lorenzo Pardo will scar his table. And then wide right for Marshawn Smith from deep. 33-point lead for the Vikes. Mekhi Morris, another shot opportunity that was contested, and he left it on the rim. Under 2 minutes to play here, and a timeout on the floor. Timeout on the floor will take it as ball. 89-56 here, under 2 minutes to play on DVC Vikings Live. Back on the floor with under 2 minutes to play, and looking at his stats over at Bryan and Stratton College, it will be a new career high for DJ Evans. His previous was 15 points back in 2021. Vinny Hurtado finds a wide open Pardo, and Pardo finds the bottom of the net, fills the cup, and he's got 4 made three-point shots here, getting up to 12 points in this game. Ball ricochets out of bounds, stays with the Beavers.
Really good active hands there from DVC. You know, they've been really attentive, especially on the perimeter, of really focusing on their traps, and right there you could see it affecting the offense and getting the tip pass.
And another tip ball goes into the stands as we get an assist from Ryan Schell here on the near sideline. Ball was kicked. Moselle Wilson kicks it. And the last couple of seconds have been dragging on just a little bit. Alec Bennett over to Jay Burgess. 10 seconds left to shoot. Pump fakes as Mekhi Morris as he goes to the right side of the lane. Fouled in the shot. An opportunity for an and one for Mekhi Morris. That's his first made field goal, I should say.
Tough play right there for DVC's defense. You want to contest the shot, but Moselle Wilson did get under the shooter, and every single time that's going to be a foul for the defensive player.
Missed the and one, and Pardo got the ricochet carom. 1:04 to play. Another three-point shot. Pardo, no go. And Keys fought for the board. That's a long pass over to Jay Burgess is rejected. Under 1 minute to play here, 92-58. Vikings with a large advantage here. 34 points. I think there's a wet spot on the floor, so the officials called a little bit of a timeout here to clean it up. So, we talked about it before. Vikings did a terrific job in first half, or didn't do as terrific as a job in the first half playing defense. There was a lot of missed shots from ARC, but in the second half, I mean, all besides maybe 3 shots have been contested looks. I mean, this team is just looking so good in the last 3 games.
Yeah, exactly. I would say there's really 2 things. Is DJ Evans leading the way with his great shooting tonight, and then Marshawn Smith really just being that connector. Like, we don't see a lot of, when you have a good team, you see a lot of these players that are connectors, quote unquote. And even in the NBA, last year's champions, the Denver Nuggets, they have players like Bruce Brown and Christian Brown, where they maybe are not the main guys, but they fill a role, and it does lead to wins and leads to better performances even late in the playoffs. So hopefully that's what DVC is learning from this game, is that connectors are very important.
And Evan Burgess with the three-point shot will send us to our final score here, 92-61. Yeah, the connecting pieces, all the puzzle pieces to get everything together. And this is a huge victory for the Vikings. If I'm not mistaken, their largest margin of victory up to this point tonight. And I mean, they do it in a 31-point fashion. So let's get DJ Evans on the broadcast on the other side here on DVC Vikings Live. All right, so we're here with DJ Evans, the sophomore out of Oakland, California. And DJ, a new career high for you, 16 points. The last time you scored 15 points was in 2021 against Lorain Community College. I mean, you got to go deep into the trenches. I mean, you were just doing so well offensively, defensively. How does it feel to have such a nice performance in your very first start for the Vikings?
It feels good. I mean, I work extremely hard in practice every day, and just continuously showing up every day is just, building consistency and all that, and just every day showing up, it's just going to show on the court.
So when you got the nod from the coaches that you were going to get your first start, what was going through your mind? Just another day of business getting it done?
I mean, it just, I was last year at my old school, I had a few games where I started, so I wasn't too in shock, but I mean, just stay ready when your number's called, and then, just be confident out there.
Exactly. Confidence is key. And I mean, you got to be pretty confident after a 31-point whooping that you put on ARC. The women's team got it done. Now the men's team got it done in a continuously dramatic fashion as well. And I mean, I want to ask you about some of your other players as well. I mean, Marshawn Smith tonight, you see him dishing now. I mean, the ankle's not feeling healthy. He's not going up high flying. How does it feel to see one of those guys just coming out there and just drawing so much gravity and really just getting those nice assists?
I mean, well, he brings energy to the team. So, when he comes out there and he's injured and he's putting on his shoes, we know we got to play hard if he's playing on the injured ankle. So, yeah, he's an energy guy for us.
Yeah, and another guy that brings you a lot of energy, Michael Wood. Talk about the big man stepping out and knocking down a straightaway three, a corner three. How does that make you feel as a team when your big is coming out there and just knocking it down from deep?
Oh, that feels great to know that he can stretch the floor. Defense is going to collapse on us, so when we kick it out and he hits it confidently, we're energized on the bench and on the floor. It feels good to have him out there. He's a hard worker.
Yeah, in the first half, it was a lot of missed shots by ARC, but in that second half, man, I mean, you guys put the clamps on. The line changes are absolutely insane. I don't know how many teams in basically the whole entire our country can really send out a whole new 5-unit team and be able to perform the way that you guys do. I mean, so going into your next game, the next game is going to be on Friday against San Joaquin Delta College. That's another team that hasn't been that great this year. But I mean, you guys are just racking up some great momentum going up into Big 8 play. How do you see your guys standing in this really tough Big 8 division here?
I mean, we got a lot of teams in the conference, but we're real confident in what we could do. We got guys that can play, so every day we just going to keep working hard and coming in with a straight face and focus.
I love that. Just bringing that lunch pail every single day and get the job done. At the end of the day, you'll be smiling on your face if you get it done correctly, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us on the broadcast. The second half of a double-double. Women's team win by 42. Men's team win by 31. I mean, it's a great day to be in the green and white as the Vikings here. And we close this broadcast out every single time the same way. Horns up on 3. 1, 2, 3. Horns up.